Game 6 of the Cropdusters season. 6 games in 7 days, and their 5th straight on the road. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Prince George's Community College. I'm Jish Sokolsky on the call with Jack Feldman, ready to bring you this tantalizing matchup between the Cropdusters and the DC Grays. Jack, we were at that Metro South County Braves last night. A Cropdusters win 12-5. What was really working for the Cropdusters in that game?
Jish, everything was working for the Cropdusters. That's really what it came down to. The offense was clicking on all cylinders. The ball was flying out of the park. Jimmy Kirk with the 2 big homers. Josh Reinhold with another homer. Bunch of extra base hits. And the pitching held up. 2 guys I want to highlight, Ben Berger and Pavlos Piparakis. Just electric last night, Jish.
Berger and Piparakis combined for 9 punch-outs, 2 lefties who did the job last night. As for the Grays, last night didn't quite go their way. In a game against the Gaithersburg Giants, right here at this field, they lost 19-1, allowed 17 hits in that contest. And it's a really unique venue, one that kind of does benefit these hitters, because it is a turf field. What do you know about these turf fields, Jack?
You know, with the turf field, the ball is going to play truer. There's not going to be too many bad hops, if any bad hops, but if a guy hits the ball hard on the ground, it's really going to pick up speed.
Middle of the order, each had 2 hits, 3 hits. Perfect 3 for 3 in some cases. The Giants just had everything working against the Grays. The Cropdusters did lose to the Giants early this season, but 19-1, that's a little something special. But it's a new day and a new baseball game, and the Cropdusters will start off this top of the inning hitting. It's Josh Reinhold, as you mentioned, Jack, a home run hitter last night, and one who seemingly gets on base every single game.
He's been really impressive for them. Him and Carter Hines have been the 2 most consistent hitters in the lineup, as long as Jimmy Kirk, so he's looking to stay hot here.
He'll have to stay hot against the Gray starter Corey Savedoff, a senior from Lafayette, hailing from New York City, playing in D.C. A little bit of rivalry. He goes with the off-speed first. A slider misses high and away for ball 1.
Pretty good name for a pitcher, Savedoff.
A pitcher, but maybe not a starting pitcher. You'd want this pitcher maybe to come in the 9th inning with when you're up by 2. Second pitch, a fastball in the lower inside corner for strike 1. Not a lot of difference in velocity, but a lot of difference in run between that slider and fastball. 1-1 for Reinhold, the righty. Deals with the righty Savedoff. Checks his swing as it goes low. Umpire at the first base line says the tip of the bat went around the line, so that's good for strike 2.
This is an opportunity for the Cropdusters to build some momentum, get the first winning streak of the season going, and if this offense can click again, be a great start.
Reinhold keeps it on the ground, swinging and deflects off the pitcher's glove. Shortstop can't make the play in time. Reinhold blazes through the first base for the first hit of the game, a deflection off the 1.
Just always seems to get on base, whether he hits the ball hard, whether he doesn't, just always seems to find a hole.
It's Ahia Koje now up to bat, the righty. Deals with a runner on with no outs at the top of this first. It's still scoreless, and Koje has played in this Maryland JUCO system, so this field should be a familiar one for him, or so you'd think. Despite playing at Hartford Community College, he has never played here at Prince George's Community College. Takes the first pitch, a fastball in the lower inside corner for strike 1. The 0-1 doesn't arrive. Instead, a pickoff back to first is unsuccessful. Josh Reinhold beats the throw back with a slide head first.
Koje has been really consistent for the Dusters, hitting over 300 on the season, and we're seeing him get going as of late.
308 to be exact. Had a big double in his last start against the Giants. Keeps it on the ground to third, and it's through for a base hit well beyond the outstretched glove of that third baseman, Nihus. So Koje takes first, Reinhold takes second, and here comes Jimmy Kirk up to bat. And oh boy, you talked about it, Jack. This is a guy who hit 2 home runs last night. Nobody else in the entire Cal Ripken League has more than 1 all season.
Just the power is obviously very impressive, but his ability to get the bat on the ball has been unbelievable. He hits fastballs, he hits breaking balls, just covers the entire zone. Tremendous hitter.
With no outs and 2 on, Jimmy Kirk has a chance to do some damage. He shows bunt, though, and keeps it on the ground, rolls down the third base line. It looks good. Third baseman runs up, makes a throw across. That's on time for out 1, but not before 2 runners get into second and third. Not something we've seen from Jimmy Kirk at all.
No, the dugout's having a lot of fun with that when your 3-hitter squares and puts down a perfect bunt down the third baseline to advance the runners. Just, this team is having so much fun right now.
If it comes off of Jimmy Kirk's bat, I want to get a TrackMan on that because that bunt might have gone 80 miles per hour.
That might bring down his average exit velocity a little bit, Jish.
Just a little bit. Corey Swanson steps up to bat in the lefties batter's box, the first lefty of the day for the Cropdusters, with 2 on and 1 out. Takes a changeup, or a curveball right down the middle for strike 1. Swanson just feeling this pitcher out before he decides to swing. Another power hitter for the Cropdusters. Swanson had a home run against Big Train earlier this week. It's 0-1, no score with 2 runners in scoring position at the top of this first. Here's the pitch. Takes it high and away, ball 1.
Just seems like this entire lineup is playing with so much confidence. Everyone that comes to the plate is aggressive, looking to attack.
Building well off a 12-5 win over the Braves last night, and the Grays seem to be on their heels early. Savedoff stands tall and delivers. High and away, ball 2.
And the Dusters are still under 500 on the season, but the way the offense has been playing, they've been one of the better offenses in all of the Ripken League this season.
It's a similar start to last season. They started off 2-3 that time as well. Came back home, won some big games against the Big Train, against the Aces. With the home stretch starting tomorrow, I imagine the Cropdusters are going to start getting into their stride even more if they haven't already reached it. Corey Swanson with a hack and a miss for strike 2, so it's tied up with a ballerina's count, 2-2, 1 out, and runners at second and third. 2 speed threats in Josh Reinhold and Ahi Akoje. All it would take is a well-hit ball to the outfield for Corey Swanson to bring him home. Here's the 2-2. Turned on and hit well into the gap in left center. It falls for a base hit. Reinhold rounds third and comes home for the inaugural run of the game. Off the bat of Corey Swanson. Just dropped it in there like a beach ball, Jack.
Yeah, Swanson got it off the end of the bat there, and it seems like everything just going right for this Cropdusters offense. All the balls are falling for them right now, Jish.
So the Cropdusters lead 1-0 in the top of this first inning, with Ben Davis up to bat, the first baseman from McDaniel College. He went 0 for 5 last night with a strikeout, but we've seen him have a lot of almosts. He's mere inches away from putting one out of the ballpark. First pitch misses low and away, ball 1. Davis seeing it well early. He's played first base, he's played catcher. Davis is a really versatile weapon in this Cropdusters lineup, and he's huge. 6'4", 230. Here's the 1-0. Off speed is in there for strike 1.
What's really impressive about this Cropdusters lineup is if you look at the first 4 hitters tonight, Reinhold's hitting 500, Akoje 357, Kirk 500, and Swanson 364. So just mashing baseballs right now, Jish.
Still 1 out with runners in the corners. He swings and misses at a low changeup for ball 2. Or for strike 2.
Really tough situation for Savedoff to just be in trouble like this in the first inning, not really being able to settle into the ball game.
The 2-2 with 1 out and runners in the corners. Akoje at third and Swanson at first. Pitcher steps off, adjusts the hat before he delivers the 2-2. Still looking for that first punch out of the game. I'm glad that, we could bring up these stats tonight. The point streak is working.
You'll love to see that.
The pitcher steps off twice, and the umpire behind the plate calls time. Getting some jeers from the Cropdusters dugout to our right. It's 1-0 Cropdusters in the top of the first inning. Just 1 out with runners in the corners. Ben Davis, the lefty, is the one at the plate, looking to pour it on even more. Runner goes. Off speed's in there for strike 3, but Corey Swanson slides into second for a successful steal, his first of the season. And that'll put both runners in scoring position with 2 outs. At the top of this first inning, Cropdusters still lead 1-0, with Jacob Hawk getting his second at-bat in a Cropdusters uniform after getting one last night.
We saw Hawk come into the end of that game, but this is his first start as a Duster, so all very excited to see what he's going to do.
Defensively, he looked like a seasoned pro despite being a rising freshman at the University of Maryland. Swings at the first pitch, and the first baseman makes the diving play for out number 3. That'll put the runners to bed. 2 left stranded at second and third, but one it comes across for the Cropdusters after 3 hits. It's 1-0 Crops. Halfway through the first inning, the DC Grays have a chance to respond at the bottom of this first. Stay with us here on YouTube. Thanks for joining us on YouTube. Jish, Sokolsky, and Jack Feldman on the call for this 1-0 game. The Cropdusters lead after the top of the first. Josh Reinhold scored on a single from the four-hole hitter, Coy Swanson. That was the first score of the game, and now it's the DC Grays' turn to swing the bat. Starting off for them is Matt Colella in his first at-bat of the season. He'll have to deal with Jaden Newton, the righty on the mound for the Cropdusters. He started the first game of the year against the Senators for the Cropdusters and played quite well that game, Jack.
He did. He went 3 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk. So he was throwing strikes, in command of the zone, and he looks to continue his hot streak here.
3 strikeouts as well. Jaden Newton turned a double play by himself as well, so he showed his fielding prowess in that game. The East Stroudsburg righty didn't have the best season in college, but didn't have a huge sample size either. He started off the Cal Ripken League strong. First pitch, a slider, misses outside, ball 1. Righty dealing to righty.
And overall for Savedoff in the top of the first, that could have been a lot worse for him. He's probably pretty excited to get out of there with just 1 run given up.
Especially because there was 2 runners in scoring position. And Jacob Hawk at the plate. He's hit one out of the park before. Instead, he just lined it to first to end it. Newton throws 2 more balls to make it 3-0 to the leadoff Colella. He's got to start throwing strikes. 3-0. That finds the bottom inside corner. Strike 1.
Hawk's got really good receiving behind the plate. Soft hands. Does a good job of framing that low pitch.
The 3-1. Off speed, misses high, ball 4. Jaden Newton didn't really attack that first batter too much, so Matt Colella will take a walk after ball 4. Now it's a lefty, Elias Owens. Goes by Eli, according to his college website. He belongs to William and Jefferson College. The senior second baseman hails from Alexandria, Virginia. Looks at the first pitch, 2 low, ball 1.
One of the lone seniors on this DC Grays team.
One of the lone lefties in the lineup, too. He's got a runner at first. Pickoff not there. Well, thrown quite well. Doesn't beat the slide back from the base runner, Colella. Tries it again. Just barely missing.
Newton will throw over a lot to first. We saw him do a very good job against the Senators of holding runners close.
The 1-0. Fouled off backwards on a check swing for strike 1. A little bit of heat to that outside portion of the zone. Owens didn't know if he wanted to hit it or not. Decided against it, but still fouled it off. Owens started off... He had a very up-and-down year in William and Jefferson. Started off the year hitting in the 380s. Was as low as 188 at one point before finally settling at around that 283 mark at the end of the year for the D3 William and Jefferson.
Start off 2 for 10 here in the Ripken League.
He'll take it. Checks his swing high for ball 2. Jaden Newton, on the other hand, at 11 innings, went 1-1 on the mound this spring. The 2-1 is right down the middle for strike 1 with the off speed. One Owens could have put some bat on and done a lot of damage to. Instead, lays off. First strike 2.
It's a good job there. Owens was sitting fastball. Good job by Newton to just flip in the breaking ball there for a cold strike.
So now it's 2-2, no outs. He swings and fouls it off to stay alive. Went 90 degrees backwards off his bat. Good block from Hawk to keep the runner Colella glued at first. The 2-2 misses low and inside on the slider for ball 3. Not fooling this lefty. He's got the advantage.
Newton's going to be really aggressive here. You can't give up back-to-back walks to start the game.
And Newton tries to throw back to first again. He's done that maybe 5 times already.
He does a really good job of keeping runners close.
The 3-2. Checks his swing. It's ball 4. He'll take a base. So 2 walks early for Jaden Newton. Puts 2 runners on at first and second for the Grays. And now it's the designated hitter, Anthony Rucco, up to bat. Anthony Rucco Started 40 games as a freshman with a 292 batting average for a Winthrop. That was the second best on the team. There's a reason he's hitting in the 3-hole spot, but Jaden Newton drops an off-speed right down the middle for strike one.
When you have someone that young that has that much experience at the collegiate level, that's always such a plus heading into summer ball.
The 0-1 sinks too low and fouled off for strike two. Ruocco wanted it all with that swing. Instead, got a sliver of the ball.
Liking the shape of Newton's off-speed so far.
A lot of good movement, not a lot of speed on it. The 0-2. Checks his swing. Great snag from Hawk to steal it high for ball one. If that pitch goes wild, both runners could advance to scoring position with no outs. It takes the double play off the table. Force play at all square bases with no outs. He takes one right in the hip for a hit by pitch to load things up with no outs. No, they're going to say that he leaned into it.
I think they're saying that hit the barrel of the bat.
Interesting.
Or he leaned into it.
It looks like he's walking it off. I believe his mother's in the crowd. Was the only one who cheered when his name was called by the PA guy when they introduced starting lineups, and we hear her saying, "Bad call, Blue."
I believe that could be his mother, Jish. Yes.
I believe I think that would be a good educated guess, Jack.
So he's going to take a second and talk to his third base coach there.
It seems like he's in quite a bit of pain. It's hard to deny that he did get hit. You know, we try to keep it objective, and even though Ruocco plays for the opposing Grays, we are the Cropdusters broadcast. To me, it did look like that baseball hit him. Whatever the case, that will be called a foul ball. So there's still just runners at second and first. The 1-2 misses high and away for ball two.
So Newton just needs to reset here, take a deep breath, get a ground ball.
Newton, a healthy mix of curveballs and sliders. A 2-2 caught him swinging. For strike three, he's out of there. Newton gets his first strikeout. And that's huge because now a ground ball could end the inning.
One pitch away, Jish.
He'll have to deal it to the cleanup hitter, Patrick Nihus. The freshman third baseman's going to Gardner-Webb this fall. He looks at the first pitch, a strike one. Jaden Newton breaking out the fastball now. Trying to bait Nihus to chop one. Checks his swing. Right call. It sinks too low, ball one.
Nihus has gotten off to a great start, 5 for 10.
The best hitter on the Grays this season thus far through 4 games.
5 RBIs.
A look back and the delivery. That misses low and away, ball two. The slider just needs a little bit more elevation, and I think Newton can start catching these batters swinging a little bit more, but as it stands, that break is pretty obviously low. The 2-0. Misses outside, ball three.
Newton's just falling behind a lot of these hitters.
Nihus steps back into the righty batter's box with a 3-0 count. Just one out and runners at second and first. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike two. Or strike one, excuse me.
Big swing there by Nihus on the 3-0 count.
And it was a fastball above the zone. If he laid off, that's a walk. Cropdusters lead 1-0 in the bottom of the first inning. Newton takes a look back at second and delivers. Swing and a miss, strike two, or strike three. I was right the first time. Nihus is sent back in 2 straight strikeouts for Jaden Newton against the 3- and 4-hole hitter. That's huge.
Especially against a guy like Nihus. He's been unbelievable to start the season, so big strikeout for Jaden Newton.
Now it's Ellis Reed up to bat for the Grays, the righty from Jersey City, New Jersey. Shout out. He tries to salvage his inning with 2 outs. Chops one down the third base side. Kev McMeans makes the run up and the throw to first on time and on the money for out 3. Wasted no time to get that third out. Newton keeps the Grays off the scoreboard after 1 inning of play. The Cropdusters lead at 1-0 as we head to the top of the second inning. Stay with us on YouTube. Jish, Sokolsky, and Jack Feldman on the call. Cropdusters lead 1-0 at the top of the second inning. Jish, Sokolsky, and Jack Feldman on the call. And it's Mac Lewis up to bat first for the Cropdusters, the righty getting his first at-bats of the summer. Missed a few games, had some hamstring soreness, missed the entire freshman season at Purdue University, but he's another Power 5 prospect for the Cropdusters getting his first action. I'm excited to see it, Jack.
Coaching staff just wanted to make sure he was 100% healthy before they put him back out there, and we're excited to see what he can do.
First pitch high and away, good eye from the rising sophomore for ball one, and you know, they didn't really need him to start this season. They've got a lot of infield depth, whether it be Carter Hines, the shortstop, second baseman, Josh Reinhold, Ryan Boma takes the second one in the belly of the strike zone. Strike one on off speed, goes low, but still is within the square to even things up at 1-1 for the leadoff Lewis. There was a infielder from Purdue last year. Lewis cracks one foul for strike two. Corbin Malott, one of the Cropdusters' better hitters, hit north of 305 last season. And he, too, didn't get any playtime his freshman year. After his summer, the Cropdusters came back to the Boilermakers and had himself quite the productive year. He's now playing in the Coastal Plains League, the same one as the Tri-City Chili Peppers. Cropdusters will play him later this year. 1-0, the Crops lead with no on and no outs. Lewis takes one inside at the knees. A curveball misses for ball two.
Lewis getting a steady diet of breaking balls.
A lot of curveballs missing for both pitchers. The 2-2 with no outs and none on. Checks his swing, and that's the right decision for Lewis. Misses off the inside lower corner, around the middle of his thigh for ball three.
Jish, you mentioned the infield depth. That's so crucial when you're playing as many games as the Cropdusters are playing this summer. Being able to move fresh bodies in, a lot of versatile players, it's going to be really big for them.
Full count. Puts a bat on ball and sends it up the middle for a base hit. Mac Lewis is 1 for 1 on the season as he settles at first base with the 8 and 9 hitters on deck. That's Brian Scott, the center fielder, looking for one of his first knocks of the season, too, after Mac Lewis puts one in the outfield.
Welcome to the Cropdusters, Mac Lewis, taking that breaking ball straight back up the middle. And when you see this pitcher's breaking ball 3-4 times in an at-bat, you're going to start to adjust, and made a great adjustment there.
You get the timing and location down. He put it right down the middle, a meatball for Lewis. Scott swings and chops at the first one he sees, foul ball, strike one. And now it remains to be seen if Lewis can have some speed on those base paths, too. In high school, he was the starting quarterback and shortstop for his state championship winning teams on both sports.
Can't do much better than that.
The athleticism is there on paper. Let's see if it's on the diamond as well. A swing and a miss for Scott, strike two.
Savedoff coming out, obviously making a big adjustment this second inning. He's throwing a lot more off-speed pitches.
Going with the curveball more and more. Righty dealing to righty with no outs and one on. Crops lead 1-0 in the top of the second. Here's the 0-2. Popped foul. He'll stay alive at 0-2. Scott has swung at every pitch he's seen. These breaking balls are very enticing for these batters.
Scott's a very aggressive hitter earlier in the count, and then once he gets 2 strikes, becomes more disciplined.
Scott, a returning Cropduster, has made a lot of great plays on defense. A looking strike three. The curveball finds the inner portion of the strike zone, lands around the belt, and that's the first out of the inning. And we're now at the bottom of the order where it's Kevin McMeans, the third baseman from Charleston, up to bat for the Cropdusters with a runner on and one out.
McMeans still in his second game as a Cropduster. I've been really impressed by him at third. We were watching him in warm-ups, Jish. He looks so comfortable over there.
He's got a lot of zip on that throw from third to first. He'll be called upon a ton. He swings at the first pitch and fouls it off for strike one. A little bit of a hit and run opportunity there just to turn it over to the top of the order. But it doesn't land in play. So he'll just walk back to that righty batter's box with a strike in hand. With no balls and a runner at first, the Cropdusters lead 1-0 in the top of the second. McMeans takes a breath, settles into his stance, and cracks one high into left field. It's traveling towards the gap. Left fielder looking up and makes the two-handed squeeze for out number 2. Kevin McMeans still in search of his first hit in Cropduster yellow, and he'll head back to the dugout, fruitless.
And for the Cropdusters, the shortstop, Josh Reinhold.
Josh Reinhold got to knock his last at-bat, or excuse me, he walked his last at-bat.
He had the little dribbler.
He did have that hit. On a full count, I might add. He's got 2 outs and a runner at first. See if Reinhold can do it again. He was the inaugural run of the game as well. Takes one high and inside for ball 1, no doubt about it. That's one of the zippiest pitches we've seen from Savedoff all afternoon, too. A lot of velocity on the high and inside, just didn't have the location. Reinhold saw it well and settles back in with 1 ball and no strikes. The 1-0. Sent back up the middle on a hop. The shortstop flips it to second base for out 3. Mac Lewis can't beat the throw, and that'll do it for this second inning. Just 1 hit to speak of and 1 runner left on. The Grays look to get on the scoreboard themselves, down 1-0 to the Cropdusters after midway through this second inning. Jish, Sokolsky, and Jack Feldman bringing you all the action on YouTube. One nothing, the Cropdusters lead midway through the first. Jaden Newton is back out there on the mound after the Cropdusters put up a goose egg at the top of this inning. Jish, Sokolsky and Jack Feldman on the call. Both pitchers really working with a lot of off-speed. They haven't tried the offers with the fastballs just yet, Jack.
Both pitchers falling behind hitters a lot. Neither one has really settled into this game yet, so we'll see if Newton can make an adjustment here in the second.
That's not to say the hitters have been quite remarkable either. The Cropdusters have a handful of hits. The Grays still have none. They got on twice thanks to walks. And Newton struck out 2 his last time, so it's just a matter of challenging early and often in these innings and getting out of them quicker. Cropdusters already with 4 hits on the day. The Grays still looking for their first. Wilga, that might be the first. It's traveling deep into center field and bounces off the wall for extra bases. Traveling towards right field. Wilga rounds second and goes for third. The throw to third is not on time. It doesn't beat the throw. A good cutoff from Reinhold, and the throw to third to Kevin McMeans beats Wilga. It looked like he was running out of gas at the end there. Didn't even have a chance to turn a triple. So he hits a double, but is caught on the run to third. A real crushing blow for the Grays.
That's one of those really wacky baseball plays. Nobody could have predicted that ball to take that kind of hop off of the fence. Swanson did a great job of recovering. Excuse me, yes, Swanson. Get the relay into Reinhold. Great relay for the Cropdusters. Dot the out.
That's one of the disadvantages of a turf field. Bounced off the center field, off the wall, and then the center field turf just took it to the right. Wilga thought he had more room than he did. Jogged to third and did not have that much time. Newton now is up against Greg Marmo, wearing number 51 for the Grays. From George Mason, he chops it to third. McMeans fields it off the hop, makes the throw on the run to first on time and on the money for out 2. A quick 2 outs for the Cropdusters.
Jish, I heard you had a little surprise waiting for you after the game last night.
Oh, jeez. Listen, there's a tall fence around this DC Grace Park, which makes me feel a little bit more comfortable, because last night, my sunroof got caved in by a foul ball. I made sure to park really far away this time, Jack. And a foul ball just like the one we see from this bottom of the order hitter, Danny Likis, would do in my sunroof if it was parked to the right field side like it was last night, but instead it's just a strike for Likis and a clean sunroof for me.
It's a rookie mistake there, Jish. You got to be parking way far down.
I was parking maybe 5th, 6th row. I'm thinking, okay, there's a gap between the ballpark and the parking lot, and I'm 6 rows back. I should be fine. And, Jack, this is one of the things you never know it's going to happen to you until it does. It's something you can only... It's like a trial by fire almost, something you have to learn the hard way. Danny Likis is down 0-2 at the plate. The catcher for the Grays is a rising freshman at the University of Rhode Island. The 0-2 kept on the ground and chopped to short. Reinhold fields it tall off the hop and makes the throw across the diamond on time for out number 3. Davis had to crouch to field it, but he gets it. It's a 1-2-3 inning at the bottom of the order for the Grays, and now the Cropdusters bats get going again with the 2, 3, 4 due up. That does include Jimmy Kirk, the home run hero from last night. You're not going to want to miss the top of this third inning next. Cropdusters lead 1-0 after 2. One nothing Cropdusters after 2 innings. Corey Savedoff, the starter for the Grays, is still out there. After allowing a run and 3 hits in the first inning, he cleaned up his act quite a bit that second inning. Just 1 hit and no runs coming across. One of the guys who got a hit on Savedoff in that first inning was Ahia Koje. The righty is leading off for the Cropdusters in the top of this third.
Both pitchers had really solid bounce-back innings in the second.
Throwing more strikes for sure, if nothing else. Jaden Newton already up to 2 strikeouts in the day. The Cropdusters ace. Savedoff with 2 of his own through 2 innings pitched. 4 hits and 1 run for the Grays ace. Off-speed finds the top left corner for strike 1 against the righty Koje. Caught looking at the curveball, but it plants in there to put him behind. Savedoff with none on and no outs. Throws a ball low and away, ball 1. Even count with a ball and a strike for Koje. He's 1 for 1 on the day and was left stranded at third in the top of the first. The 1-1. Keeps it on the ground to third. He fields it with some velocity and makes the throw across on time and on the money for out number 1, a routine 5-3 ground out. Good play from Nihas to scoop that off the ground. He had a little bit of trouble corralling it, but the throw was quick and zippy. That's good for the first out for the Grays.
To bring up Jimmy Kirk, laid down a perfect sacrifice bunt his first time up.
Something we haven't seen from Jimmy Kirk maybe ever. Don't know if he knew he was going to beat that throw, but he didn't. Instead brought 2 runners to second and third. Goes for a freedom hack on the first swing. The off-speed sinks too low, strike 1. Jimmy Kirk hit 2 home runs last night, 6 runs batted in. He's now up to 8 on the year. That leads the Cal Ripken League. It's going to be a lot harder to hit a home run out of this park. Takes one high towards the brim of his helmet for ball 1. That outfield fence is about, I'd say, 2 Chris Pauls tall. About maybe 12 feet, maybe a little bit more. Definitely, we would probably have to stand on each other's shoulders to get to maybe 3/4 of the way up, and I'm 5'6". The 1-1. He keeps it on the ground up the middle. Shortstop makes the catch on the run, and the throw across beats the run for out number 2. 2 impressive plays by the infield. Colella, the thrower on that one, puts Jimmy Kirk away.
It's a nice play by Colella there over at short. A lot of range, ranging to his glove side. Making the play.
Swanson.
Not as much velocity off the bat of Jimmy Kirk as we're accustomed to seeing.
Hit it pretty hard.
He did hit it pretty hard, but a great range over from Colella, moving to his left to shade that second base and make the throw on time. Coy Swanson up to bat now, the lefty. He takes a fastball high and away for ball 1. Swanson has the game's only run batted in. A single his last at-bat in the top of the first. Brought in Josh Reinhold. Now he's dealing with no batters on. Takes one low and inside at the knees for ball 1. Ball 2, excuse me.
Swanson's got off to a great start. We've seen the extra base hits. We've seen great at-bats, and we've starting to adjust in the outfield as well, Jish.
Seen a home run from him as well. See if he's got another in him with a 2-0 count and none on. It was a solo shot his last time. Takes one low and inside. The curveball misses for ball 3 with no strikes. And Coy Swanson, one of the names, played at Maryland this past season, but is in the transfer portal now. So if there's any college coaches listening, this is a guy with a real big bat and a big arm in the outfield. Tried to show off the big bat with that swing, but got no inch in the ball for strike 1.
Savedoff mixing it up real well, not giving these Cropdusters hitters too many fastballs to work with.
It was a good run on the curveball, too. It looked like it was sitting at the top of that zone, sitting pretty for Swanson to put some damage on it, but instead sunk at the last second. A great break from Savedoff. The 3-1. Fouled off to fill up the count with 2 outs and none on. Swanson just a little bit too late on the off speed. Sent it foul to the left side.
When you're throwing as many breaking balls as Savedoff, when he does throw the fastball, it's going to look good 5 miles an hour faster.
Full count. 1 strike away from the inning. None on and the pitch. That is hammered deep into right, but it just barely lands beyond the right field foul pole. So we'll stay alive with a full count.
Seems like every Duster hitter is getting 2 to 3 curveballs in that bat.
Swanson stays alive, extending the pitch count to 7. Here's the 8th. Bounced on the ground to first. He makes the throw back to the pitcher, and Swanson beats the run from the pitcher to first. A high chopped ball down the first base line. First baseman Wilga had to track back to make the grab off the hop. A valiant cover attempt from Savedoff, but he can't beat the legs of Coy Swanson. He does it all.
That ball took Wilga off the bag. You knew that was trouble the second Swanson hit it. Savedoff just couldn't get over there fast enough to beat out the speedy Swanson.
So that'll count as an infield hit for Coy Swanson, his second of the day. Now that brings up another lefty, Ben Davis, the first baseman from McDaniel. He struck out his last at-bat to end the first inning. He's got a runner at first. That's Coy Swanson, who just showed off the speed to get there. See if a steal's in order. Catcher calls time as Swanson settles back into first, and Davis looks to get a piece of a ball this time. A swing and strikeout last time. 1-0. Changeup finds the zone. Strike 1.
Davis just 2 for 12 to start off the season, but it's looking much better as of late.
Absolutely, even after a 0 for 5 game last night with a strikeout, the swing looks very good.
Had a couple of hard-hit balls.
Hard-hit fouls. Once he gets one of those in play, it's going to be very hard to put him away.
It's one of those hard-hit fouls, the one that hit your car, Jish?
Man, if it is, then we'll have some talking to do. The 1-1 caught Swanson running on the throw back to first, and the throw to second's on time to put him away. That's out 3 on the caught stealing. Swanson couldn't read the pitcher quite well. A great disguise from Savedoff to end the inning. Cropdusters score no runs and just had 1 hit and 1 runner to speak of as we are midway through this 3rd inning of play. Cropdusters still lead it 1-0. The Grays looking for their first runs at the bottom of the 3rd. It's Jish Sokolsky and Jack Feldman on the call for this one. Stay with us. It's just a 1-run game. One nothing Cropdusters ahead of the DC Grays. We've seen no runs come across since the top of the 1st inning. And now the Grays get a chance to put their first runs on the board. I'm Jish Sokolsky. To my right is Jack Feldman. We're here just diagonal from the lefty batter's box at Prince George's Community College in DC. And a leadoff hitter lines one over the hand of Josh Reinhold for a base hit. Their first of the inning and second of the day. The Grays waste no time getting a hit off the Cropdusters starter, Jaden Newton, still out there.
Newton coming off of a 1-2-3 inning in the second. Gonna have to do a little bit more work here in the 3rd as the leadoff hitter gets on.
As Danny Like is the catcher. A throw back to first and not on time. He'll slide in to stay safe. And now the top of the order is back up. It's Matt Colella up to bat. He walked his last at bat, and he's showing bunts. But Newton is whipping it back to first to no avail.
Boy, Newton really loves to throw over.
Leaving no room for doubt. Colella showing bunts. That flies off his bat down the first base line. Newton tosses to first for out one, but that'll bring the runner to second. He's the tying run, just 180 feet away from the home plate. So there's one out and a runner in scoring position for the Grays now. For the second time this game. And the two-hole hitter, Elias Owens, up to bat. He walked his last at-bat as well. But perhaps the small ball approach can be contagious to these Grays. We'll see if another bunt is on the way. Doesn't appear as such, as Newton buries a strike in the lower inside corner to get ahead of Elias Owens. Righty versus lefty. Here's the pitch. That's in there, strike two. High fastball on the inside corner again. Working all parts of the strike zone now.
Those are back-to-back really good pitches by Newton, just burying that fastball in the inside corner and then going up with the elevated one.
The 0-2 is chopped foul to stay alive. Newton just one strike away from his third strikeout of the game. That would tie his total from his last start. A 6-3 loss to the Southern Maryland Senators in Game 1 of the season. 0-2, he takes a look back at the runner at second, steps off to keep the runner on. I've never seen a pitcher step off more than Jaden Newton.
Me neither, Jish. Newton does a fantastic job of controlling the run game.
The 0-2 fouled off again to keep it at 0-2. Yeah, call him maybe... Who do you think stops the run better, Jaden Newton or like a 300-pound defensive tackle? Two different sports, obviously, but a fun thought experiment. Yeah, I think you can compare apples to oranges here. High fastball misses ball one. Eli Owens not panicking, down 0-2. Gained some ground back with his first ball. Grays trail 1-0 with a tying run at second. Here's the 1-2. Fouled off again to stay alive, 1-2. Owens doing a good job making Newton work for his dinner.
Owens walked in his first at-bat.
Still hitting 200 on the year, 2 hits and 10 at-bats. But if he can walk, he'll continue to remain in the top of the lineup as he takes another fastball high for ball 2. Interesting strategy from Newton, starting off with a lot of off-speeds, and now he's really sprinkling in that fastball. The 2-2 misses outside for ball 3.
Real strong start to the season for Jaden Newton. 5 strikeouts in his first 5 1/3 inning of work.
The 3-2. That misses high and away on the fastball. Another walk for Elias Owens. He's up to 2 on the day. That'll put runners at first and second. That reopens the possibility for a double play. And Anthony Rucco up to bat had a very controversial at-bat his last time out. Struck out, although he believed he was hit by a pitch. First pitch does hit him that time. Right in that shoulder, so now that'll load the bases.
No doubt about that one.
You don't want to speculate, but after Rucco thought he was hitting the last one, you think maybe that was a little intentional?
I don't think so, Jish.
Probably not. It looked like he just lost control of it versus the righty, and now Coach Evans goes to talk to his starter on the mound with his catcher. That's not a sight we see a ton. We don't see the assistant coach.
You don't really see Mike Evans go out to the mound that often. Usually it's either Coach Looper, the pitching coach, or Coach Leader if he's making a pitching change.
I haven't seen Coach Looper today, though.
Maybe
Perhaps.
Mike Evans could be filling in.
Mike Evans described himself as the vibes coach. In our first team meeting, we got to sit in on that. The bench coach, typically.
Very high energy. Always jogging around, picking up loose foul balls.
You got the opportunity to play for him, Jack, too.
Did a long time ago.
Swing and a hack for Nijos. Struck out his last at-bat. He's looking to get it all back with this one. Bases loaded. The go-ahead run is at second. It's 1-0 Crops. Newton misses high and inside on the fastball, ball 1. 1-1, and Newton's got himself in a pickle. Let's see how he delivers. Going back to the curveball to dividends. Strike 2 breaks right into the lower part of the strike zone. Caught Nihas just staring at it. The 1-2 with a look back. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that'll put him away. 2 at-bats, 2 strikeouts for Nihas. And 2 outs for the Grays with bases loaded. A huge at-bat up on the way for Ellis Reed.
It's a filthy slider by Newton to get the strikeout. Just darting down and out of the zone.
I can still hear the voice of Cropdusters pitcher Justin Woodbury from last year. Whenever there was a nasty pitch, he would yell, "Ew!" Some of you could hear it every single game. That would get an ew from Justin Woodbury. Ellis Reed takes the first pitch in the strike zone for strike 1, a slider on the lower outside corner. He swings through the second one for strike 2. Newton not getting fazed by having runners all around him. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 2 strikes, no balls. Cropdusters hold on to a 1-0 lead. Newton a look back in the delivery. That's in there, a looking strike 3. Ellis Reed walks back to the dugout frustrated. A 3-pitch strikeout to end things. Jaden Newton with ice in his veins to keep the Cropdusters lead at 1-0 despite loading the bases. We'll be back for the top of the 4th after a frustrating inning for the Grays, the bottom of this 3rd. Jish Sokolsky and Jack Feldman on the call for this one. Stay with us. One nothing, the Cropdusters lead over the Grays at the top of the 4th inning. The Grays left 3 stranded after a strikeout from Jaden Newton ended the bottom of the 3rd. A real chance for them, and we don't know if the Grays will get another shot just like that one. A devastating blow. Jish Sokolsky and Jack Feldman on the call for this one. Ben Davis, the lefty first baseman, leads off for the Cropdusters versus the starter still out there for the Grays, Corey Savedoff, who's had quite the turnaround after allowing 4 hits in his first inning.
That was a great Houdini act by Newton, who's continued to look sharp, and his stats on the year are shaping up to be really good.
Davis blasts one foul down the right side for strike 2, but if he gets on that ball a little bit later, it looked really good, Jack.
Boy, Savedoff really has to be throwing like, what, 65%, 70% off speed?
Maybe 60 miles per hour, the 0-2. Davis towers one to left field. Left fielder settles under it for the squeeze, making the short run to his right for out number 1. So Davis still hitless in his last 2 contests, and it brings up Jake Hawk to bat, the catcher from Maryland.
I really like his approach at the plate. He goes up the middle, opposite field all the time, and he has some serious pop, Jish.
A lot of hop on that one. Just died a little too soon in the outfield. Hawk looks at a sinker too low, ball 1.
For an incoming freshman, he has a really advanced approach at the plate.
Hawk still in search of his first hit in Cropduster yellow. 0 for 1 on the day, and he takes one on the knee. He'll take a base on a hit by pitch.
I think that's got to be a scoring error. Is it just me, or did Hawk have that line drive up the middle?
That was not.
It was caught by the first baseman.
Yes.
Yeah, but it is hit hard.
You're thinking of Mac Lewis, who led off the second inning
Lewis
with a hit of his own, his first hit as a Cropduster in his first at-bat And he's up to bat now in the lefty batter's box. I believe a switch hitter. Takes one low, and it gets away from the catcher. Hawk is going to take second base easily off the wild pitch. The Cropdusters faithful behind us to our right, telling him, egging him on to take that second base, and it's the right call.
Whenever a ball gets by a catcher like that, you got to advance the base there, and Hawk did just that.
Sometimes you just don't see it, though. It's not something you're necessarily paying attention to at first base, but now he's at second with a clear view of that catcher. 1-0 at the plate for Mac Lewis.
Something you got to be paying attention to on the bases, Jish.
Savedoff a look back in the delivery. Misses high, ball 2. He missed north, he missed south. And he hit the righty Hawk in the knee. His commands struggled just a bit as his outing goes into its 4th inning.
He's been really up and down, some clean innings, gotten into some jams.
Well, the command is right back. Call that an announcer's jink, a slider. Cuts into the center of the strike zone for strike 1.
So far, Jish, we got a little pitcher's duel going on, which did not seem likely from the way this game started.
Or from the results of yesterday's games. The Cropdusters scored 12 runs in that one. The Grays gave up 19. The 2-1. Low and inside. Ball 3 on the curveball. Lewis seeing the zone very well. You couldn't tell that he didn't have an at-bat his freshman year at Purdue.
No, he came in here in his first 2 at-bats of the day and looked tremendous.
And a 3-1 count. Worked it full last time before knocking. And he does so again. Right up the middle and into the glove of the center fielder. Hawk tags from second. He's using the speed and slides into third. Safely off the bag for a second, but reaches back with the left hand to get on. That's the disadvantage of playing on turf. It just carried him well over the base like he was sliding on butter, Jack.
You know, sometimes on turf you get a little slip and slide action. Hawk went too far, but did a good job of scrambling back. And that's not an easy ball to tag on, especially for a catcher showing off the speed there, Jish.
Slip and slide action. That's a good callback. Man, I want to go into slip and slide. Brian Scott up to bat. Swings at a fastball high and fouls it off for strike 1. Jammed a little bit off the inside of the bat.
When's the last time you've been on a slip and slide?
You know, it probably wasn't too long ago. Went to a graduation party, I think, 2 summers ago, or maybe last summer, where I just abused that slip and slide. Because it's there. If there's a slip and slide at the function, you know I'm there. You know I'm bringing my swim trunks, and I'm on it. What about you, Jack?
It's been a while. Probably say 10 years.
You more of a slip and slide or a water balloon fight kind of guy?
Take the slip and slide any day.
I agree. The 1-1 misses too wide for ball 2. The slider can't clip inside against the righty. 2-1, 2 outs, and a runner at third. Here's the pitch. Chopped up the middle. Shortstop fields it off the hop, makes the throw across his body on time for out 3. Just barely beats Scott by 2 steps to the bag, and that's out number 3. It leaves a runner stranded at third. Cropdusters have not been able to convert as of late after scoring 1 in their first inning. The Grays still looking for their first, though, as we have a new pitcher on the mound. We'll talk a little bit more about Owen Basso getting his first run in college when we return for the bottom of this 4th. Crops lead 1-0. One nothing Cropdusters at the bottom of the 4th inning now, and Jaden Newton's day is done. After 3 innings, he allowed just 1 hit with 3 walks and 4 strikeouts. Not too shabby for the starter. He passes the baton now to his first reliever, Owen Basso, the righty from Dayton. And you actually had the privilege of playing against him in high school, didn't you, Jack?
I did. You know, I played with Basso for 4 years against him. Our schools were in the same conference, and he's got a devastating changeup. That's his best pitch. He'll throw that changeup a lot. He'll throw it righty on righty, which you don't see that often, a righty on righty changeup. And he struck me out a couple times. I think I got him once. I think I got one hit off him in 4 years of high school, but he's a really good pitcher.
Law of averages, It's got to happen at least one time. And, that's something you can maybe get a plaque hanging in your bedroom.
Yeah.
Got to hit off Owen Basso.
I remember my freshman year, we were losing to him 7 runs going into the bottom of the last inning. And we scored 7, tied it up, bases loaded, and the other team's coach put Owen Basso in the game with the tying run at third. Impossible spot to be put in. And he promptly walked in the winning run, the tying run, and the winning run. So hopefully Basso's a little better today than he was his freshman year of high school.
I'm sure he is. A rising sophomore in college. Didn't play his freshman season at Dayton. Was sidelined the entire year with an injury.
He's got really electric stuff. Has the great changeup, but also sits upper 80s, can touch 90.
He once threw 91 in a high school game at St. Albans Prep down in D.C. He's ranked the 17th ranked right-handed pitcher in Maryland when he came out of college in 2023. The first pitch misses with speed on the inside for the leadoff righty.
That game where he was throwing 91, he's facing off against a pitcher who's now at Denison. Just a great pitcher's duel. Both pitchers went like 6 innings, 1 run.
The 1-0 misses high and away. Actually high and inside, and it actually clipped Jake Wilga on its way in. So Wilga takes a base. He had the first hit of the day for the Grays as well. A double, but he was caught out on his way to third. Not the best base runner. At least from that small sample size that we saw, Jake.
Basso dealing with an injury all season at Dayton, so this is his first action in a while. It's going to take him some getting used to settle in, get his command going again.
We've seen that with a few Cropdusters pitchers. In their first outing, maybe not the best, but their second outing, they come back a lot better. I think about Ben Berger last night. A 4-strikeout performance.
He was filthy last night.
The movement was great after his first games against the T-Bolts, which he'll admit didn't think he had his best performance in. Basso misses Greg Marmo, the next batter, high and inside on the fastball for ball 1 with a runner at first. And hits him again. He's having trouble with these righties. Hits 2 batters, his first 2 batters faced, and he's gotten dangerously close in each of his pitches. He's hit 2 batters already. And that puts the go-ahead run at first with Matt Lavenga up to bat for the Grays.
Really tough spot for Basso in his first appearance in, probably around a year to find that command, and it looks like he does not have it right now, Jish.
It's another righty, Lavenga, the 8-hole hitter for Basso. A balk called against him, too, so that'll bring both runners ahead of 1 base. So now they're both in scoring position with no outs. It's been quite the challenging day for Basso. 2 hit-by pitches and a balk. There's runners at second and third with no outs. The Cropdusters only lead by 1, and Lavenga can play the hero here.
Seems like he didn't come set there. That's what the umpire was saying.
He is 0 for 1 on the day. Lavenga takes one low for ball 1.
Going back to Jaden Newton's performance, boy, he's had a phenomenal start to the season, Jish.
3 strikeouts in the first game, 4 today. He's up to 7 on the season. He's still hasn't allowed a run yet in 6 innings of work. There's the changeup you're talking about, Jack, that drops right in the upper left corner. That kind of looked like a curveball found the zone.
Looked like a slider, curveball there. And when you're searching for strikes, you're just trying to see if you have anything that's working.
It's Basso's first strike of the afternoon. The 1-1, low and away, ball 2.
He's going to go right back to that. Yanks that one a little bit. But you're just going through all your pitches, trying to find something that's working, and once you do, you're going to throw a lot of that pitch, Jish.
We'll see if Basso has some clutch in him with 2 runners in scoring position, nursing a 1-run lead. Ball 3, low and away on the fastball. Lavenga not chasing it, and he's up 3 balls to 1 strike with a base open at first.
Hawk's got to be a brick wall back there. When you have a pitcher that's struggling to throw strikes with a runner on third, got to be blocking everything.
3-1, 2 on. High and inside, ball 4. Hawk fakes the throw back to third to keep the base runners honest. And now we're at the bottom of the order again for the Grays with bases loaded and no outs. Danny Likis up to bat for the Grays. Turned on in the first pitch he saw his last at-bat, but flew out.
Hawk's going to go out there, have a conversation with his pitcher.
It's a real tough situation to be in. Your first action in over a year.
And you wonder how long Basso's leash is going to be also.
Plenty of relief in the bullpen. Torian Domenico, the lefty, would be next up from Notre Dame. Already with an outing so far, and backing him up would be Parker Dean, the righty from Purdue. First, let's see if Basso can throw any more strikes. 2 hit by pitches, a balk, and a walk. Loads the bases. He finds the zone there. There's the changeup you're talking about. Right down the middle, strike 1.
Sometimes you can settle in and just find it, so hopefully Basso can find it here.
The 0-1, 3 on, no outs. Swing down the right field line, and it's fouled off, so the runners will go back to their home bases. And Likis heads back to the righty's batter's box with 2 strikes, no balls, and no outs. A well-hit ball that was cruising down that right field line, just barely poked foul at the last second. Could have been damaged. Definitely extra bases if it falls fair.
Basso's head has to be spinning now. I'm sure this is not the comeback he has wanted for his first game after the injury.
It's about mental fortitude at this point. 2 strikes. No balls, no outs, bases loaded with a 1-0 lead. Checks his swing, the right decision from Likis. Misses high and inside for ball 1.
Basso ahead in the count. Clearly has electric stuff, just has to find the zone.
Old habits die hard. Another inside fastball. That hit 2 batters earlier this inning. Basso looking for his first punch-out. He's 1 strike away from doing so. And he got it! Likis swings and misses. Basso fights back with a strikeout. And that's huge for the Cropdusters. Even with the top of the order due up, it sets up a double play, which would end the inning.
When you hit back-to-back batters, have the balk. No, it's so easy to just lose confidence in yourself as on the mound. So a great job by Basso to get the strikeout.
Hopped in the air. Colella sends it to the gap in right and center field. Coy Swanson makes the long run up, and that'll keep the runner at third. There will be no tag out for out 2. The runner at third, number 12, Josh Wilga, not trying to test the strong arm of Coy Swanson in right field. And that's now 2 outs in the last 2 pitches. Owen Basso can do the unthinkable here and leave 3 stranded. He's 1 out away from it, but he's up against a batter who has walked twice in Elias Owens for the Grays.
Seems like Wilga had the scouting report on Coy Swanson in right.
Swanson could definitely hose him, and now Basso's finding the zone against his first lefty. High-hanging changeup is in there for strike 1.
Seems like he's found that feel for that slider. He's thrown it a couple times for strikes.
0-1 the count. 2 outs, bases loaded. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Basso has found this zone now with his back against the wall.
This would be an incredible Houdini act by number 17, and cannot talk enough about how just mentally tough you have to be to get out of a situation like this in your first outing in over, 6 months.
The 0-2, weak contact, hit down the left field side. McMean's giving chase, but it lands foul to stay alive at 2 strikes with no balls and 2 outs.
Basso has really gone from where couldn't throw a strike whatsoever to now he's filling it up, Jish.
He's really going for that fastball. It just kept missing high and inside, especially against the righty batters. Hit 2 of them. Another walk, loaded the bases.
We've seen a lot of sliders from him, Jish. We have not seen that devastating changeup yet. He likes to throw for a strikeout, so we'll see if we see it here.
It's 1-0 Cropdusters. Bases loaded, 2 outs. 1-2. High and away, ball 2. Basso taps his shoulder, says, "That's on me." But a great snag from Hawk behind the plate. A wild pitch would bring in a runner. Owens ties it up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs with bases loaded. The Crops lead by 1. Basso, a deep breath from the stretch. Changeup misses low, ball 3.
You saw it there, Jish. He loves to throw that pitch, especially to lefties.
That was ball 2. 2-2. 2 outs, 3 on the pitch. Checks his swing. The umpire says that is not in there, right on the edge of the zone to fill the count with 3 balls and 2 strikes. There was that changeup, hung it on the outside upper corner, but it'll be called a ball. 1 ball away from a run and a tie game. 1 strike away from leaving 3 stranded. The deciding pitch is on the way right here. Runners go, it's in the dirt, ball 4. That will tie this game up. Wilgo walks home from third, it's 1-1. In the bottom of this 4th inning. Basso was up 0-2 on the batter, but Owens collects his 3rd walk of the day.
It's good at bat by Owens. He took a lot of close pitches. I thought Basso made a lot of competitive pitches there in that at bat.
There's still 2 outs with bases loaded. Ruocco fouls one off behind him for strike 1, and now Basso has to hope to get out of this inning quite quickly. With the 3, 4, and 5 on the way up. He only needs 1 out to get out of it, but Ruocco's hitting in that 3 spot for a reason. A lot of playing time at a D1 university this spring. Off speed, misses wide. Ball 1. Ruocco 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout.
Just 2 for 9 on the season, Jish.
He was hitting his last at-bat. Off-speed misses away. Ball 2 with 1 strike around the waist level.
These balls are looking a lot different by Basso. They're not going all over the place. They're competitive pitches.
Sun setting in right field. Misses high and inside, ball 3. So 1 more ball will give the Grays a lead. It's 3-1. With bases loaded and 2 outs, the Cropdusters are tied with DC 1-1. The go-ahead run is 90 feet away at third with 1 ball away from being brought in. Basso from the stretch. Caught him swinging for strike 2. Ruocco chased a slider outside to fill up the count again. The inning on the line with this next pitch.
Basso really does have phenomenal stuff. The changeup's gross, and the slider today has been downright nasty.
3-2, swing and a miss, he's out of there. Owen Basso mitigates disaster. Only 1 run scores from bases loaded. 2 walks, 2 hit by pitches, but Basso keeps it tied 1-1 for the Cropdusters, and they'll have a chance to break that tie.
So, Jish, obviously first outing in a long time, there are going to be nerves. The way the inning started was not ideal for Basso, but I thought he did a great job to get out of it, giving up only 1 run, really bear down. And that's just mental toughness by the right-handed pitcher.
Basso came back with 2 strikeouts to end the inning. We'll take you to the top of the 5th where the Cropdusters will look to break this 1-1 tie with the DC Grays. It's a pitcher's duel, and Corey Savedoff stays out there for the Grays. We'll see how much tread he still has when we return to the top of the 5th. One 1-1, the Grays just tied it up with the Cropdusters at the bottom of the 4th. Welcome to the top of the 5th inning. I'm Jish Sokolsky with Jack Feldman. We've just heard some Spice Girls playing over the loudspeakers. So Cav McMeans will tell you what he wants. What he really wants is his first hit in Cropduster Yellow. He hits to the bottom of the order and plays third base for the Cropdusters, hailing from the College of Charleston. Takes the first pitch high and inside for ball 1. Still yet to reach base for the Cropdusters this summer. Just 1 game before this, but was really close in that last one. A grounder to third that just barely beat him to the bag. Change up in there, strike 1. McMeans caught staring at one right in the lower portion of the zone.
You a big fan of the Spice Girls, Jish?
I wouldn't say I know their entire discography, but who doesn't know that one song? And I know one of them's married to David Beckham. The 1-1 fouled off on a line to the right side for strike 2.
Would be big for the Cropdusters if Kevin McMeans can get on base for the leadoff hitter Reinhold.
McMeans, another one of these Cropdusters batters, didn't get a lot of tread in college. Only 2 at-bats in 3 games for the Charleston Cougars. The 1-2. Lays off, ball 2. The slider from left to right doesn't fool the righty McMeans. Gets a good view of it, even though righty versus righty, that's disadvantageous matchup for the batter. Can't really see those outbreaking balls as well. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. McMeans is sent packing without a hit still. Out 1 of this inning. We'll turn it over to the top of the order where Josh Reinhold has gotten himself plenty of hits, Jack.
If you would have told me that Savedoff would be here in the 5th inning, only giving up 1 run, I would have been shocked, Jish, by the way the Cropdusters started this game offensively. But he's really done a tremendous job of settling in. The off-speed is working, and he's working his way through this Cropduster lineup.
Savedoff has allowed 5 hits and 3 strikeouts through 4 1/3. First pitch misses high and inside for ball 1. He hasn't walked a batter yet. That's one thing interesting to note. It doesn't seem as though he's really pounding the zone with these strikes, but he's gotten weak contact. He's gotten Cropdusters to swing, and no walks. But he's not the verge of doing so for the first time with a 2-0 to Josh Reinhold. The curveball misses inside.
He's thrown 49 strikes to 24 balls, so he's done an okay job pounding the zone.
2-0, misses outside for ball 3. Now he's 1 ball away from his first walk of the afternoon, and he doesn't throw hard. He just throws with a lot of break and run. Gets these Cropdusters bats a little confused. The 3-0. High and inside, there's the first walk of the game for the Cropdusters, and who else but Josh Reinhold to get it? He's 1 for 2 on the day, now with a walk on his resume, and that brings up the 2-hole hitter, Ahi Akoje.
Akoje with 2 hard hit balls today.
One was through for a base hit, the other he flew out on. It's part of a 1-2-3 third inning that Savedoff got out of without any harm done. Akoje fouled off his first pitch for strike 1.
This is a spot where if Akoje can get on, you got runners on first and second for Jimmy Kirk.
Jimmy Kirk 0 for 1 in the day with a sac bunt. The 0-1. Off-speed curves into the inside part of the strike zone for strike 2. A really, really deceptive pitch.
Just a slider that backed up a little bit and was able to catch that inside corner.
0-2. High ball 1. Goes back to the fastball, but has significantly less velocity than we seen at the beginning of the game. And say maybe the Jish Idar says maybe that's low 80s.
That's what you're going with?
That's what I'm going with. 1-2. Runner goes. Misses low and away. Josh Reinhold slides to second, and he is safe. The throw was there, but it was on the outside towards the shortstop area of second base. Reinhold started his slide maybe 3 strides away from the base, reached the hands out, and tagged up to take the double play off the table. So Koji has a runner in scoring position. The lead-taking run, if he can put some bat on ball.
Did a good job of sliding early on the turf, making sure he doesn't slide past the bag.
1-2. Akoje pops one up foul for strike 2. Almost towards us.
Just we're gonna get a foul ball.
One day we're gonna have to make a play.
I need to see you make a play.
See, last year I was friends with the Big Train broadcasters. The old Grace Field, they had to catch a foul ball. They used to sit on top of the press box, little bare hand to save the computer. I aspire to do that one day.
Protect the computer.
That's rule number 1. 2-2. High and away, ball 3. The curveball couldn't sink low enough.
It's the first thing they teach you in broadcasting school, Jish. As soon as a pop fly comes in your vicinity, you got to shut the screen.
They haven't taught me that yet. Maybe I'm still learning. Runner at second, full count. Low and inside, ball 4. Akoje takes first base. And this is a nightmare scenario for the Braves. It's Jimmy Kirk now up to bat. Big number 38 steps into the righty batter's box with 2 on and just 1 out.
Savedoff has worked for the most part around trouble today, but Jimmy Kirk is a guy that can unravel your outing really fast.
Jimmy Kirk, a little early on some of the slower pitches that Savedoff has put on a plate for him. Let's see if he's got the timing down now on his second go-around with the starter. Or third go-around, the first one a sac bunt. 2 runners on. Takes it outside, ball 1. Curveball can't find the center of the zone. Instead, settles halfway through the lefty batter's box. Big Jim, as he's nicknamed by his Cropdusters teammates, leads the league with 3 homers, including 2 last night. That was a grand slam and a 2-run shot. That's a solo shot of the year, just missing that 3-run from his resume. Fastball tucks into the top left for strike 1.
And you might think with a guy of his stature that he's just trying to yank the ball down the line, but Jimmy Kirk is one of the best opposite field hitters on this team. Seems like all his extra base hits go to right field.
A ball and a strike. 1 out, 2 on. Kirk swings and misses, strike 2. A little too early on the curveball. Sometimes you think you can read it and then it has that last second break. That's one thing that's been very impressive about these saved-off pitches. Very late run. It reminds me of the Cropdusters pitcher Pavlos Piparakis. Closed out last night's game with 5 strikeouts. A lot of deceptive
There's
pitches.
a lot more velo, though.
Definitely.
He was gassing it up last night.
1-2. Low and away. The catcher does a good job blocking it to keep the runners glued.
It's a great play by Likas.
Likas just got his knee pad on it to keep the ball in front of him and keep the speed threats. Josh Reinhold and Ehi Okoji at first and second, respectively. It's a 1-1 ball game with 2 runners on. Reinhold, the go-ahead run at second base. 2-2 back at the plate for Jimmy Kirk. Here it comes. Hits it hard, foul to stay alive at 2-2. A loud pop of the bat, too. Just barely reached off the end of his bat. Tried to catch a slider just a little bit too late. The 2-2. Low and away, low inside for ball 3. A full count for Jimmy Kirk.
This has been a really good at-bat by Jimmy Kirk. He's fouling off the pitcher's pitches, taking his balls, and puts himself in a situation to get on base.
Savedoff only with 1 walk today. 1 ball away from his second walk, but 1 strike away from his 4th punch-out. Second baseman shading second. Runner goes. It's kept up the middle. The throw to second's on time, and back to first is there for 2. A double play to end the inning. A weakly hit ball from Jimmy Kirk to the shortstop will give it back over to the Grays. We're midway through 5. It's 1-1. Cropdusters knotted up with the Grays, and Corey Savedoff has turned it around on the mound for the Grays. Let's see if he can get some bat support at the bottom of this 5th inning. Stay with us for that fateful inning when we return. Owen Basso's day is done after just 1 inning pitched. Despite having 2 strikeouts, he did allow the only Grays run of the day. It's 1-1. Cropdusters dead even with the home team DC Grays. I'm Jish Sokolsky. To my right is Jack Feldman, and coming in relief of the Dayton righty is a lefty from Notre Dame. That's Tori Indomenico. In his second appearance this season in relief, only went 2/3 of an inning versus Big Train, and it really wasn't the best outing that we probably could have seen from Indomenico.
No, this is a guy that Coach Lear and the staff have high hopes for. Came into the Big Train game, did not have his best outing, but looking to bounce back here against the DC Grays.
3 earned runs in 2/3 innings. 3 walks, he really couldn't fill up that strike zone effectively, but now he can show that that was just a fluke with a good outing here. Indomenico from the windup misses low, ball 1. Well, with a fastball, but couldn't locate the bottom portion of the zone for ball 1.
Indomenico buries that slider down and in against righties and really tough on lefties coming across his body.
Nihus gets his first knock of the day, pulls it to left field through the gap in the infield to put the go-ahead run at first base. So Indomenico sees one batter and allows a hit. We were talking about it last night, Jack, but the difference between putting away your first batter and allowing him on base is night and day.
Night and day, that's absolutely correct, and that's how all the big innings start, Jish.
Ellis Reed is 0 for 2 on the day. He's showing bunt with a strikeout, a runner at first, and no outs. That goes below the bat of Reed, but it's a called strike. Great movement from north to south. He might have gotten a piece of the lower part of the count, perhaps a fouled off. Okay, there we go. So he fouled off the bunt attempt, and he's showing it again. Here's the 0-1. Hawk fields it, makes the throw to first on time for out 1, and allows the runner at first to take second.
It's a good play by Hawk to pounce on that, get the out.
Good communication, too, between catcher and pitcher. Both Indomenico and Hawk chased it. It fell right in front of the pitcher's mound, but Hawk called him off and made the throw on time. But it puts a runner in scoring position with Joey Wilga up to bat. Scored the only run of the day for the Grays. Had a double earlier in the game, but our point streak is not showing that. A look back at second, Indomenico has 1 out richer, but his first pitch misses low and away, ball 1. The fastball the slider, excuse me. Couldn't quite find the zone, but the velocity between the fastball and slider, not too different. 1-0 the count. Chopped to the first baseman, but it's fouled for strike 1. Wilga puts bat on ball, but Indomenico forces the weak contact down the first base line. Davis with a good reaction to find it, but a foul ball nonetheless. A ball and 2 strikes with 1 out and 1 on. Indomenico goes off speed and finds the zone for strike 2. A nice curveball looped into the outside portion of the zone, barely crossing the right side of home plate against the righty Wilga, and now he's 1 strike away from his first punch out of the day. The 1-2. Misses high and away. He tried the same pitch, couldn't locate it. Ball 2.
Indomenico really hammering that outside corner. That's where he's trying to get those called strikes.
We've yet to see Indomenico really unload the fastball just yet. Perhaps on a 2-2 offering to put him away. Let's see if he goes to it. A look back and the delivery. He goes off speed. It's popped in the air to the left side. McMeans can't find it. Instead, it'll go to Josh Reinhold, the shortstop, making the run up onto the grass for out 2.
Now batting for the Grays, number 51.
Always good when you have a runner in scoring position to get an out that keeps the runner at the base they're at. So Indomenico's going to take that all day, every day.
Indomenico forcing some weak contact early. We saw it on the foul ball and that pop-up for out 2. Just 1 out away from getting out of his first inning. First pitch misses low and inside. He only went 2/3 of an inning last time. Only got through 2 outs before he was pulled. Allowed a home run in his last outing. It's Marmo up to bat. He's 0 for 1 on the day. Got hit by a pitch his last at-bat. 2 straight balls to start from Indomenico. The slider missed south, and this time it misses west against the righty.
DC Grays is a team that is chock full of righties, so you would like to see some lefties. That's an advantageous matchup for Indomenico.
Indomenico hangs a changeup too high for ball 3. Indomenico not throwing his heat just yet, and perhaps looking to get that batter on first base. Instead, that's chopped down the middle. Reinhold fields it off the hop, makes the throw to first. Davis stretches and makes the out, number 3. Indomenico gets through 3 outs for the first time this season, and that puts the Grays away with 1 runner on and no runs scored. It's still 1-1, a pitcher's duel between the Grays and Cropdusters after 5 innings. Top of the 6th on the way next. Stay with us on YouTube. I'm Jish Sokolsky, and that's Jack Feldman. A 1-1 defensive duel, something the Cropdusters are not accustomed to. They've never had a score be this low after 5 innings. Jish Sokolsky and Jack Feldman on the call, and the starter, Corey Savedoff, is still out there for the Grays.
Savedoff has not had his great stuff today. He's let on a lot of base runners, but he's pitched around trouble and really doing a tremendous job of it. But this is his 3rd time through the lineup, and he has thrown his off-speed stuff for the majority of the game straight through the first time. So these Cropdusters hitters now have seen the slider, they've seen the curveball, and they should be all over it, Jish.
You would hope so, and you also got to think of it from the pitcher's perspective. Now going into his 6th inning of work, he's probably feeling a little tired. A lot of rust on the elbow. First pitch is to Coy Swanson. He swings through for strike 1, too fast on the changeup.
Seems like he's kept these hitters off balanced all game. And we're getting to the point where these Cropdusters hitters have seen 7-8 off-speed pitches from Savedoff, so their timing should start to adjust.
Coy Swanson's been one of the batters he hasn't gotten, but gets him with another swing and strike for strike 2. Swanson's 2 for 2 on the day, but at risk of striking out for the first time.
Swanson's stats on the season looking real pretty. 363 with a homer and 4 RBIs.
After today's totals mixed in, he's now hitting 462.
It's good
high
math.
and away. Ball 2. It's actually right here on point streak.
Oh, I was going to give you credit for that, Jish.
See,
you should have just taken credit.
I don't do that. I'm a team player. I'm a fun guy. But point streak doesn't lie. 1-2, Swanson. It's 2 for 2 on the day, with the only RBI of the day as well back in the 1st inning. High and away, gets away from the catcher for ball 2. No runners on, and the damage is mitigated because of it. So Swanson steps back into his lefty batter's box. He's had the answers for Savedoff, and with those first 2 pitches, he looked eager to get his 3rd hit. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fouled backwards, he stays alive with 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Dusters have their 4, 5, 6 hitters. The middle part of this lineup is going to have to get it done.
Swanson's by far the best hitter thus far today. The only hitter on the Cropdusters with 2 hits. Misses high and away for ball 3, again evading the grasp of a catcher. Something to monitor, although right now it'll only be a ball. Once base runners get on, those are freebies. A full count with no outs. Swanson leading off this 6th inning with a 1-1 tie.
Savedoff's pitch count getting into the 90s, and command always goes before the velocity.
A swing and a miss. Strike 3. Coy Swanson sent back to the dugout on a changeup high. And that brings Ben Davis to the table. He's still looking for his first hit. Struck out earlier this game.
Number 32, Ben Davis.
Starting to see a couple wild pitches mixed into that at-bat, so we'll see if fatigue starts to become an issue for Savedoff.
He is now through 5 1/3. First pitch off the turf for ball 1. I almost said dirt, but this is a turf field here at Prince George's Community College. Has really affected some conditions so far today, especially in that outfield. 1-0. Takes it outside, ball 2. The command is just, I feel like we say every inning, the command is slipping away from Savedoff, but then he turns it on when we least expect it.
It's been Houdini today.
Curveball missed wide. 2 balls, no strikes. 1 out with none on for Ben Davis, the lefty first baseman. Lays off ball 3, high and away. Davis has not swung one time. A little uncharacteristic. We've seen him swing in almost every at-bat this season. Savedoff with 2 walks today. 1 ball away from his third. The 3-0. Off-speed finds the zone. Strike 1. Davis doesn't swing as a precautionary measure, but that's one he could definitely sink his teeth into. A meatball right down the middle.
Davis just looking for a specific pitch in a specific spot here.
3-1. Misses high, ball 4. Davis takes a base, and Savedoff has his 3rd walk of the day. He's getting late into his outing, and there is a pitch count limit. That's at 110, and he's approaching it quite dangerously.
He's past the 100 threshold, so he's getting very close to that pitch count limit.
See if that's something that's brought to the attention of these umpires. The Cropdusters last season had a win forfeited because their starter, Justin Woodbury, now his second mention on this broadcast, went well over that 110 mark.
Big day for that guy.
Huge day. It was a complete game shutout, 10 strikeouts,
I was
a 2-0
talking more
victory.
about today, Jish. 2 mentions on the broadcast. I mean,
Well,
come on.
it's probably the second best day he's had, I guess, associated with the Cropdusters. Although I guess that forfeit's not one of the better ones. 1 out, 1 on. Jacob Hawk takes one in the zone for strike 1. Curveball sinks into the inner portion of the strike zone.
Gotta think this could be his last batter. If Hawk is able to get on.
Not a lot of movement in the bullpen. I don't really see the bullpen in left field. Changeup misses low and away, ball 2. Excuse me, the curveball misses low and away for ball 2. 1-1 the count. Davis at first takes a lead. Or it looks like that's a pinched runner at first. Does not appear to be Ben Davis. That looks to be Bryce Herb, the outfielder from Shippensburg. I was going to say, Ben Davis looks a lot shorter out there. But Herb, one of the better speed threats on the team, can take one. It's 1-2 with 1 out. High and inside, ball 2. It's an interesting decision to pull Davis. He's been good defensively at the first base slot. I wonder what they do at first base. They'll probably move some pieces around. I imagine Coy Swanson will move down to first base. A position he hasn't played all season, but one that he is accustomed to playing. In high school, he was the 3rd-ranked first baseman in the state of Pennsylvania.
Savedoff 5 pitches away from the pitch limit at 105. I imagine he's allowed to finish the at-bat.
You'd be correct. The 2-2 is popped into the gap in left and center. Center fielder makes the sprint ahead, and the grab for out number 2. Herb runs back to first base.
Now at bat number 9, Mac Lewis.
And now here comes the Grays coach, inching closer and closer to that pitch count limit. I believe that is his day, and it is. Corey Savedoff absolutely shoved today after a 4-hit, 1-run first inning. He went the next 4 2/3 without a single run allowed, only 1 more hit, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. A great outing from Corey Savedoff.
Savedoff was phenomenal. Allowed runners on base pretty much all game, but did a great job of working out of trouble. Mixed in all his pitches really well. Is not a fastball dominant guy. Throws that slider, that looping breaking ball a lot, and he was getting whiffs all day long, Jish.
So, Jack, one thing we've noticed with this league is a reliever can really make or break a game. A huge start from Corey Savedoff. He'll pass the baton to the first reliever for the Grays. That is number 26, Ty Morris, a righty from Marist University.
Absolutely, Jish. We've seen so many times, close ball games, a reliever comes in, doesn't have his stuff today, and the game just breaks wide open.
With a runner at first base, the speedy runner at first base, if Morris allows a hit to the outfield, don't be surprised if Herb comes all the way around the bases. He had a triple earlier this year, has beaten a lot of close calls, whether it be infield hits or fielders' choices that could have been double plays, just beaten out by his legs. Bryce Herb is probably the fastest player on this team. It's Mac Lewis, the first batter he's going to face.
I don't know. I'd put some other guys up there.
Who else do you think would win in a race versus Bryce Herb?
I think you got to put Carter Hines in that conversation. I think you got to put Josh Reinhold in that conversation. I think there's a lot of guys.
In terms of stealing ability, sure, I'd put those two guys there. But in terms of pure speed,
Brian Scott's
pure
got to be.
wheels, maybe. I'm thinking pure wheels. You got to give it to the guy who had a standing triple. Regardless, he stands at first base. Mac Lewis steps into the lefty batter's box.
Number 26, Ty Morris. And at bat for the only Cropdusters is number 9, Mac Lewis.
Mac Lewis is 1 for 2 on the day. Or 1 for 1, excuse me. Got hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. Looks at the first pitch. Off speed in the zone for strike 1. Mac Lewis has to get the initial scouting report on this new pitcher, Ty Morris.
Couple of really good at-bats. Lasered a ball earlier in the game. Took a walk.
0-1 misses outside on the slider for ball 1. This guy, Ty Morris, his last appearance in college was a 4-run, 5-hit performance in 1 inning versus UAlbany. Runner goes. Lewis lines one into right for a base hit. Herb rounds for third, and he will get there, but that's where he halts his run. Mac Lewis is 2 for 2 with the single now, and that brings up Brian Scott with 2 outs and runners in the corners.
Obviously, very small sample size, but based on what we've seen today from Mac Lewis, he looks like a real hitter, Jish. And it's a good problem to have, but there are a lot of infielders on this team that are just phenomenal hitters, and you want to get them in the lineup every day.
It's a great problem to have because you can give these guys rest and make sure when they are out there, they're at the top of their game. Scott's 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout. Takes an off-speed high for ball 1.
Seems like Scott has come up in a lot of big situations so far this season.
The go-ahead run is at third base. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 outs and runners in the corner. Ty Morris with the throw back to first, not on time. Lewis slides head first back into first. Scott has a really cool stretch between pitches. He puts the bat behind his head, kind of twirls it around. He looks double-jointed. And he hammers one into the gap in center. It pops into the glove of the center fielder, who makes the run up for out number 3. Not the worst hit ball, but a great defensive play from the center fielder, Reed, tracking up to put him away and put this inning to bed. Midway through the 6th, the Cropdusters and Grays are still tied at 1. New pitcher, same result. And Torian Domenico trots back out there for the Cropdusters on the mound to look to keep it tied at the bottom of this 6th. I'm Jish Sokolsky. That's Jack Feldman. We'll see ya for the bottom of that 6th inning. One, the Grays and Cropdusters are tied at the bottom of this 6th inning. Jish Sokolsky and Jack Feldman on the call for it. The sun now really setting in behind us this time, so it's not in our eyes, which is a welcome sight, but the Cropdusters have been in a pitching duel. Let's see if the setting sun, if anything, can shake any of these defenses off their game. It's 1-1 in the bottom of the 6th, with the heart of the order up for the Grays. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Excuse me, that is the bottom of the order. Number 16, Lavenga is up to bat. He walked his last time up. It's 0 for 1 on the day otherwise.
This just seems like one of those games where one play is going to be the difference.
The 0-1 is swung through for strike 2. Indomenico fooling this 8-hole hitter with these low off-speed pitches.
Boy, Indomenico's off speed just darts down in the zone, gets a lot of swing and misses.
The 0-2. Chopped to the pitcher. Indomenico runs it out and makes the flip to first on time for out number 1. And that's Parker Fry at first base, making the substitution into the game for Ben Davis, who was pinch ran at the top of this inning for Bryce Herb, so he gets subbed out too. And now it's Parker Fry hoping to give the offense a jolt. Now at the bottom of the order, it's Danny Likas, the catcher, up to bat. 1 for 2 on the day with a strikeout. Hit a 408 on the year. Kept on the ground to the second baseman. Lewis makes the short throw to first for out number 2. And you'll take that if you're Tori Indomenico. 2 pitches, 2 outs.
Can't be more economical than that, Jish.
You like that word, economical.
It's a fun word.
I think it's a fun word. I'd probably go with efficient. I think it gets the job done.
I like economicals.
Potato, potato.
Yeah. You know, you could say both. Both work.
Can we combine them is the question.
Number 30, let me know.
Ec-efficient?
I don't know if that's how that works.
Aficionatico? I don't know. We bend the English language as Indomenico bends a pitch below the strike zone for ball 1. Gets the top of the order hitter, it's a new top of the order hitter. That's Chapman replacing Matt Colella. Number 31 for the Grays. Manoah Chapman from San Diego State is up 2-0 after 2 low pitches hit the turf. The 2-0. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Manoah Chapman was the 26th ranked shortstop in California. One of 2 California natives on this Grays team, along with a Stanford pitcher. 2-1. Check this swing, but he went around for strike 2.
Indomenico looking filthy right now.
Manoah Chapman didn't get any playing time in his freshman year. Indomenico works his way back with 2 straight strikes. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Indomenico dusted him to put this inning to bed. 6 innings passed and 2 runs split evenly among the 2 teams. It's 1-1. Cropdusters and Grays in lockstep as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Cropdusters bats get going when we return. I'm Jish Sokolsky with Jack Feldman on the call. One your score. Cropdusters and Grays now into the top of the 7th inning, and it's Ty Morris still out there for the Grays to face off against the bottom of the order. Kevin McMeans first. Morris only had to get through 1 out the past inning, coming in relief of the starter, Corey Savedoff, who had himself a phenomenal outing, but get through that 1 out he did. Brian Scott flied out to center field to end it.
And the Grays only have 2 hits compared to the Cropdusters 6, but still a 1-1 ballgame.
McMeans chops one down the third base line. It's fair, and the throw across is on time to beat the tenacious run from McMeans. He's out for out number 1, so 1 pitch, 1 out, and the top of the order is back up for the Cropdusters.
Now batting number 8.
This is a point in the game, Jish, where there's going to be 1 big momentum swing either way, and the Cropdusters just have to go out there and take it.
We're in crunch time, tied at 1. Reinhold squares up one right into the glove of the second baseman. 2 pitches thrown, 2 outs. Absolutely economical, if you will, from Ty Morris on the mound for the Grays.
Can't do much better than that on both ends. That was a really nice job by Reinhold of just going with the breaking ball. That's why baseball's so frustrating. Hit it right on the nose, but just right at the second baseman, Owens.
Simply can't do better than that. Ehia Koje didn't even get in a stance for the first pitch. Off speed, hits the outside corner for strike one on a changeup. Koje ready for the second pitch. From the windup, Morris deals. Low and away for ball one.
Been really impressed with the Koje's at-bats today. He has the walk and then the single, but he also has a hard hit ball on his out. So 3 really strong at-bats by the left fielder.
1 for 2, none on, and 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And misses outside on the curveball for ball 2. It's taken a few more pitches for Morris to get through this batter after getting through the 9 and the 1 with just 1 pitch. McMeans and Reinhold were sent packing. 2-1. Misses inside with a little bit more speed. I don't know if that's his fastball for ball 3.
And the umpire's been pretty consistent. He hasn't really given either team that outside corner.
2 balls to 1 strike. Koje settles back into the righty batter's box, dealing with the righty, Ty Morris. Deals from the windup. Swing and fouled off. Strike 2.
This is a spot where the Cropdusters' big hitters have to come up big. Jimmy Kirk on deck, Koje hitting right now. This is the part of the lineup that has to do damage.
The DC Grays were one of 2 teams to miss the Cal Ripken playoffs last season. Barely missed it on the final day. The Southern Maryland Senators jumped them in the standings to get in. The 2-2. Koje kept on the ground to third. The third baseman, a busy day, Niehaus, makes the throw across, and it takes the first baseman off the bag. Can't bring the glove down for the tag, and Koje reaches first on a throwing error from the third baseman.
Yeah, that ball just took Wilga off the bag, wasn't able to get the tag down. And seems like runners have been on base for pretty much all of Jimmy Kirk's at-bats today, so he's looking to make the Grays pay.
The point streak scores that as a single. Although I doubt that Koje would have beaten the throw, which would make it scored an error.
DC Grays coach going to go have a conversation with the first base umpire. I thought from our angle, Jish, that was pretty clear the tag was not applied.
Absolutely. And we do have a better angle. The Grays dugout is on the left side. First base, obviously, on the right side of the infield. And we have a good view of that first base line. It looked like the glove just came down right outside of Koje's downfield shoulder. Missed with the swipe, and that'll bring Jimmy Kirk up to bat. Still knotted at 1 with the speed threat of Koje at first. Morris takes a look back at that first base before deciding what to do with Jimmy Kirk. Kirk takes a curveball low and away, ball 1. The designated hitter is 0 for 2 on the day with a sac bunt to his name. Stands tall, bat overhead. The throw back to first, not there. Koje slides head first into the first base.
Dangerous Coy Swanson on deck.
1-0. 2 outs, no strikes, 1 on. Here's the pitch. He kept on the ground and threw to right field for a base hit. The third baseman made a diving play but couldn't get there. Jimmy Kirk gets his first hit. Koje reaches second, and Coy Swanson is up to bat.
Coy Swanson has the lone RBI for the Cropdusters today, looking to do it again. And this is one of those situations where this could be a momentum swing in the game. If the Cropdusters are able to jump out to a lead here in the 7th, this is a game where runs have been extremely limited.
If Parker Niehaus made the throw on the money just 2 batters ago with Koje, this inning's over. But as it stands, there's now 2 on with 2 outs and a big hitter up to bat. Coy Swanson stares at a changeup or a curveball in the zone for strike 1. Getting a feeling for the run before swinging at the first one. Swanson staying disciplined, a very closed batting stance. 1 RBI already today. The go-ahead run at second with a strike, no balls, and 2 outs. Second pitch misses inside. Ball 1. Curveball can't find the bottom right corner.
Swanson's been locked in all season long.
Swanson has a homer, one of three Cropdusters with a home run this season. Swing and a miss, strike two.
Boy, he doesn't get cheated on his swings.
Curveball beat him to the outside lower corner. Swanson now has to shorten up with 2 strikes and 1 ball. Inning on the line with another strike. Hands placed a little higher on that bat now for Swanson. A sigh, a look back, and the delivery from Morris. Popped foul, and staying alive is Corey Swanson.
Big opportunity for Swanson to get some situational hitting done. You know, two out hitting with runners in scoring position usually decides the ball game, Jish.
Especially this late. It's the top of the 7th. The Cropdusters and Grays tied at 1. Neither squad has really been able to scratch across runs consistently today. Swanson can change that here with a 1-2. 2 outs, runners at second and first. He hammers one deep into left. It's got the altitude, doesn't have the length. It's back at the left field wall, and the left fielder makes the grab at the warning track for out number 3. A well-hit ball from Coy Swanson, but Ty Morris gets out of a pickle, still with a 1-1 tie midway through the 7th inning. Coy Swanson almost had his 3rd hit of the afternoon, instead heads back to the dugout with the inning over. It's 1-1. Cropdusters and Grays are tied. We'll see you at the bottom of the frame, the 7th frame, when we come back. Stay with us on YouTube. One. Neither of these offenses have gotten anything going as of late. And it's Elias Owens up to bat for the Grays. He's been one of the bright spots for this DC lineup. 3 plate appearances, 3 walks. But his first time facing the lefty, Torian Domenico for the Cropdusters. I'm Jish Sokolsky on the call with Jack Feldman. And Domenico's first pitch misses low, ball 1. Off speed, can't find the lower portion or get Elias Owens guessing.
Horror the lineup for the Grays.
Bounces off his wrist. Eli Owens takes first base. He's gotten on base every single time he stepped up to bat. This one by a hit by pitch. It appeared as though that one might have hit the nub of his
It looks
bat.
like that did. You know, that's what I was thinking.
It sounded like it did.
Yeah.
But Owens, nevertheless, will take first base. And now here comes the 3-4-5 with just no outs. Still tied at 1. It's Anthony Rucco up to bat for the Grays. He's 0 for 2 in the day with 2 strikeouts and a little time between this and the next batter. Still getting the equipment off. Elias Owens didn't have to keep it on for long. Second pitch hit him. Shows bunt. Misses low and away, ball 1, but now he's shown his cards, and Kevin McNeans is going to be playing up at that third base spot.
Grays have been bunting all day long.
Shows it again. That bounces off of him for a foul ball.
There's no reason to think he was bluffing there. That's been their MO all day, Jish.
Especially with runners at first base. If the leadoff guy gets on, the second guy, almost every single time they've done that, has bunted. That remains the case here, but now, with a ball and a strike, we'll see if the strategy changes. He's keeping the bat on the shoulder, and here comes the bunt. Ruocco keeps this one in play. McMeans fields it, makes the throw to first on time for out number 1. And of course, it's a sac bunt that brings Owens to second base.
They've been getting the bunts down, but so far it has not worked out for them. Only 1 run in the ball game.
Now at bat.
You got to keep trying it, though. It's consistently getting these runners in scoring position. You got to imagine, if you're the Grays, that one of these times it's going to work, and that might be all it takes to win this game.
I don't know. I don't know if I like your two-hitter bunting. Pretty much every time they've had the middle of the order up with runners on first, they bunted.
Nihas cracks one to third base on the chop. The throw goes over the head of Fry, or
Looks like
he doesn't actually throw the ball because the runner would have beat it. So there's runners in the corners now. With just one out, the sack flies on the table for Ellis Reed, the center fielder. He's 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout.
Indomedico looking for a ground ball to get out of the jam.
But you also have to keep an eye out on Nihas with his first hit. We'll see what he does on the base paths, but it looked like he beat out that would-be throw with a lot of speed. Indomedico finds the bottom of the strike zone. Strike one with the fastball.
Indomedico has a lot of horizontal movement on all his pitches, some sink there.
0-1 with runners in the corners and 1 out. Grays and Cropdusters tied at 1, bottom of the 7th. Popped foul, strike 2.
He's been getting ahead of hitters all day long, looking really in control. And this is the Torrey Indomedico we expect to see moving on.
You would imagine one of the few D1 talents in this pitching rotation. At Notre Dame University, the lefty with the 0-2. Hits him! Breaking ball, slides too far inside on the righty. Bounces off his left cheek. To load the bases up with just 1 out. And Joey Wilga to bat. He's had a few good swings today. Bases loaded. This could be the difference maker in the game right here. Pressure is on Indomedico. He shakes off the first pitch. Base runners all around him, tied at 1 at the top of the 7th. Here's the pitch. Good catch from Hawk, but it's ball 1 as it misses wide.
Jish, as they say, it could be getting late early, so the Cropdusters really need to hold them here at 1.
We saw Owen Basto get out of bases loaded in the 4th inning. Indomedico will have to do the same here. The 1-0. Misses low, ball 2. A walk would bring in the go-ahead run. That's how the Grays scored their last run. Was on a walk with bases loaded, and now after 2 straight balls, Hawk goes to the mound to talk with his lefty Indomedico to get his swagger back, because Indomedico is throwing strikes. 3rd visit, the umpire tells us, between pitcher and catcher. 1 more would end his day by default. 1 out, 2 balls, no strikes. Kept on the ground and fouled for strike 1. Any way you can get him, right, Jack?
Any way you can get him, especially in this ball game, they're going to take whatever they can get. Nothing has come easy for either team.
Indomedico wants to bait some weak contact. Could turn the double play, which would end the inning with 1 out and bases loaded. It's tied at 1 in the top of the 7th. Grays have a chance to bust it wide open here. 2-1, here comes. That is popped in the air towards that right and center gap. Scott dives, can't make the play, and it gets out of his grasp. 1 run scores, but that's all she wrote. The Grays take their first lead of the game at the bottom of the 7th. 2-1 in favor of the home team.
Scott was so close to making that play. And a good job by Kojay to get the ball into the infield quickly, only allowing 1 run to score. A lot of times, when you see outfielders dive and not make the play, that can be a recipe for disaster.
Up to bat number
A weak hit.
Greg Marmo.
Single from Joey Wilga puts the Grays in front, and the bases are still loaded with 1 out. But Indomedico shows no fear with that first pitch. A slider inside, strike 1.
Indomedico trying to hold them with a 1-run lead, giving the offense a chance to come back.
All it would take is a pop fly for another run. And it's in the north part of the strike zone. Strike 2. Marmo caught staring at a pair, and he's down 0-2.
And the Dusters offense have been hitting all day. They have 7 hits, just have not been able to get the big one, Jish.
The 0-2 in the dirt. Hawk blocks it and keeps the runner at second and third. After the first ball scratched across the scoreboard. And, you talk about the hit totals. The Grays only have 3 base hits today. That Joey Wilga hit was, or the 4 exact, actually. That was his 2nd hit of the day and just the 4th of the contest. But the Grays have themselves a lead. That's just been the kind of day it's been. The 1-2 misses low for ball 2. Indomitico trying to bait the righty Marmo at swinging at a low ball, but nothing doing thus far. Tied at 2 with 1 out and bases loaded. Indomitico delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's one way to gain some ground. Indomitico dusted him to bring up the bottom of the order. Danny Likas. And Indomitico can mitigate disaster here with just one more out to get out of the 7th inning. The Grays lead 2-1 with bases loaded and 2 outs. Or excuse me, that's Michael Lavenga up now. Indomitico attacks him. No fear on the first pitch. Strike 1.
He's been living on that outside corner all day long.
Outside lower corner. Lavenga 0 for 2 with a walk today. The 0-1 misses in the dirt. Ball 1. Tied with a ball and a strike. Bases loaded with 2 outs. Can Lavenga be the hero? Swing and a miss, strike 2. Indomitico yet again in front of another batter.
Looks like Lavenga's going to step out, have a conversation with his third base coach.
He called time, going over where to spray it with the man at third base. He steps back into the righty's batter's box. The lefty Indomitico deals to the righty Lavenga. 2 very Italian names. The 1-2. High and away, ball 2. Lavenga refused to chase it, too. A very tempting high and away slider, but just a little bit too high and a little bit too far away. 1 strike away from ending the 7th inning. Here it comes. Misses wide, ball 3. Couldn't cut back in on the slider. Tried the back door, but again does not catch Lavenga swinging at it.
Just a huge pitch here. Nowhere to put him.
Full count. 2 outs, bases loaded. Hit to opposite field, and weakly it falls in right field. 1 run scores. A second rounds from second, and he gets there to make it 4-1 Grays in the bottom of the 7th. A clutch piece of hitting from Danny Likas to put the Grays further in front.
It's just been one of those days for the Cropdusters. That ball just blooping in there for the double. Not hit hard. And a little bit of frustration for the Cropdusters. This is a game that they've had an opportunity to take the lead many times, just have not been able to do it.
In the bottom of the 7th, the Grays lead 4-1 if you're just joining us. The Cropdusters have shown fireworks late in numerous games, not just last season, but this season. Not the worst thing in the world. That's kept on the ground to Indomitico, who can end an inning with a short toss to first, and he does. 3 runs come across for the Grays, by far their most productive inning, this 7th one, and it finally comes to an end. Bases were loaded twice, and 3 runs come across. It's 4-1 Grays after 7. Cropdusters look to get themselves out of their first hole of the afternoon when we return for the top of the 8th. Stay with us on YouTube. The Grays exploded last time you heard us. 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th, and now the Cropdusters have a little digging to do. It's Ty Morris still on the mound for the Grays. Looking to shut the door in these final 2 innings. Top of the 8th, Parker Fry will lead off for the Cropdusters. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Jish Sokolsky. To my right is Jack Feldman. And Parker Fry gets his first at-bat of the game, coming in to pinch hit for Ben Davis. Fry had an RBI last night, but on the season, he's hitting just over 210.
Number 30, Parker Fry.
One of those harder hitters gets a lot more bat-on-ball opportunities.
Morris has done his job so far.
First pitch misses high for ball 1, but you're right, Jack. Just 1 inning pitched. 2 hits, no earned runs, no strikeouts, but no walks either. 1-0 for Fry, the lefty, at the plate. Morris, the righty, likes it from the windup. Misses low. Ball 2, the curveball, died a little too soon. Fry with a good eye.
Have 2 more chances, 2 more innings to get the lead back.
Getting on base right here would be a great way to start. From the windup, Morris delivers. Too far outside, ball 3 on the off-speed. Fry still seeing it well. Knows he can't get it back with 1 swing, but now in a 3-0. Let's see how he approaches. High, ball 4. How you doing? Parker Fry, 4 pitches, 4 balls, 1 walk. That's economical.
It's exactly what you want. You want to get the leadoff hitter on. You have to string together a couple of good at-bats here. Try to put some runs on the board.
Jake Hawk 0 for 2 on the day. He's got a runner at first with no outs. The righty catcher takes one in the lower outside corner for strike 1. Off speed with plenty of run. Buries in there to go ahead. Ty Morris ahead of Jacob Hawk at the plate.
Morris pitching with a lead now, just trying to throw strikes.
Morris tries the throw back to first. Parker Fry gets back, standing up to stay safe. 4-1 the Grays lead, no outs and 1 on, with a strike and no balls for Jake Hawk, the catcher, at the plate. The 0-1. Checks his swing, it sinks too low, ball 1. Hawk almost fooled by a curveball, but holds his swing in time. Didn't quite leave his shoulder, but the elbows moved off his chest.
Hawk can get on. Mac Lewis, who has had great at-bats all day, is on deck.
Hawk swings too high at a breaking ball, sends it backwards, strike 2. 1-2 the count. Umpire giving some more baseballs back to the pitcher. Hawk takes a few steps out, resettles his focus. The sun really setting in on this right side. Not in the right field, more behind these batters, but still could get the corner of the eye. I'm not a big biology major, but some of the vision, some of those peripheral pitches might be out of view for these righty batters.
Is that biology?
I'm not a big fan of biology. I do broadcasting. 1-2. Hawk takes it in there for strike 3. A looking strikeout sends Hawk packing, and Mac Lewis, who's 2 for 2 in the day, steps up with a runner on and a 3-run hole.
Mac Lewis.
Mac Lewis, 2 singles so far today, got on base a 3rd time with a hit by pitch. He's got Parker Fry, the 6'5" first baseman, with a lead at first base. And 1 out in this inning. Here's the pitch. Kept on the ground and threw between the first and second baseman for his 3rd hit of the day. A base hit, and now the tying run comes to the plate. That's Brian Scott.
Just a tremendous debut for Mac Lewis in his first game as a Cropduster. And now, once again, Brian Scott comes up in a big spot. Although it seems like he's going to be pinch hit for Jish.
That is correct.
We speculated about this in the.
We speculated between the inning that Carter Hines, one of the Cropdusters' leading hitters, would come on to pinch hit for somebody.
I thought he would get an opportunity for somebody. He's just been red hot, and in a ball game like this, where every run means a lot, you'd like to get him in at bat late.
Well, here is his at bat. 3 straight multi-hit games for the shortstop from Shippensburg. He's got 2 on with 1 out. Here's the pitch. Looks at the changeup away, ball 1.
Pinch hitting, one of the hardest things to do in all of baseball, coming off the bench cold.
Adam Leader and the Cropdusters looking for any answers offensively. They scored 1 run at the top of the first and have been cold the rest of the way. The 1-0. Hines takes it high. Ball 2. The curveball couldn't rainbow into the zone, and Hines stays patient.
Hines does so many things good offensively. Just an ultra-disciplined hitter. High contact tool.
2-0. 1 out. Takes it low, but it's in there. Strike 1. Right on the borderline of that bottom part of the zone. And one thing you notice about Carter Hines is he crouches very low, kind of Ricky Henderson-esque, to shorten up that strike zone. Makes the pitchers really have to aim for it, and Ty Morris found it there.
Morris starting to get that outside corner that has not been there all game.
Kept on the ground to second. The throw to first is there. The back to first is not on time. He is safe. Hines beats the throw, and McMeans is up to bat. He's the tying run with a lot at stake.
Big spot for McMeans.
Now up at number 6.
Still looking for his first hit as a crop duster. I'm correct there, Jish?
You are correct. He's 0 for 3 on the day with a strikeout, and runners in the corners with 2 outs. Top of the 8th inning.
And it looks like they're going to send up another pitch hitter. We were talking about this, Jish. We said, could be Carter, could be Boma. Why not both?
Ryan Boma checks into the game. He is the new third baseman. Has the most at-bats of any crop duster with 22 on
now
the...
up at number 16, Ryan Boma.
And he's been one of the premier hitters as well for the crop dusters. Looking for any sort of life in the bottom of the lineup. Top 8, 2 outs. Boma puts bat on ball and fouls it off on the first pitch for strike 1. Parker Fry is at third. Carter Hines is at first, who reached off the fielder's choice. 2 outs with 1 strike. Ryan Boma seldom put in a bigger spot than this. The 0-1, runner goes. Boma swings and misses, strike 2. And Carter Hines successfully takes second, standing up. The challenge throw doesn't come at all. Takes the force away from second. But Boma's down 0-2 at the bag with 2 outs and 2 on. He's the tying run. Morris likes the first pitch signaled from the catcher. 1 strike away from getting out of it. Boma puts a piece of the bat on the ball and fouls it off to stay alive. 0-2, he reached on a slider low and away.
This is the opportunity for the crop dusters to pull within 1. 2 runners in scoring position.
Boma this year has brought in quite a few runners. 4 RBIs on the season. And he gets a good piece of it, traveling into right field, and the right fielder on the slide makes the grab to rob him of a hit and end the top of the 8th. The Grays hold on to a 4-1 lead, keeping 2 runners on in scoring position. That's devastating for the Crop Dusters, who will just have 1 more chance to surmount this lead, while the Grays, at the bottom of this 8th, will look to put more on and put it out of reach from the Crop Dusters. You're listening to Jish, Sokolsky, and Jack Feldman on YouTube. Stay with us. We're in for a thrilling conclusion. Bottom of the 8th inning, and a new pitcher for the Crop Dusters dangling on, trailing 4-1. I'm Jish Sokolsky, that's Jack Feldman. It's Parker Deed in the game now for the Crop Dusters, his second appearance of the summer. He came in relief versus the big train. Only 2/3 of an innings pitched there. 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and he picked up the loss in that game, a 13-10 heartbreaker for the Cropdusters.
Dean has a really low arm slot, really tough on righties, and matches up well against this Grays team that is almost full of righties, although they do have the lefty on deck in Elias Owens.
At the bat right now, it's Chapman. He pinch hit and is 0 for 2 on the day. Takes one in the head. That'll be a base at least. And Parker Dean, his first pitch, almost gives a guy a concussion.
A lot of hit batters today for the Cropdusters, Jish.
2 from Owen Basso earlier in the game. Parker Dean now nails a batter in the head, and
Eli Owens.
it brings up Eli Owens up to bat. Still listed with 0 at-bats on your point streak, and that's right, because he walked all 3 times he was at the plate. Actually, his 4th time at the plate, he got hit by a pitch. Dean deals one low, ball 1. Owens again showing bunt. The strategy worked last time for the Grays. Get 1 runner on, a sacrifice bunt on your second hitter. It's paid dividends thus far. The 1-0. 2 low, ball 2. Boma playing with his toes in the infield grass at third base. With Chapman, the ability to run from first to second. 0-2. Misses inside, ball 3. The low arm angle's not fooling this lefty. And now Owens' strategy is changing. He might just take a 4-pitch walk here. The 3-0. At his feet, ball 4. 4 pitches, and now 4 walks on the day for Elias Owens.
Dean all over the place early on, having to face the middle part of this Grays lineup.
Anthony Rucco 0 for 2 on the day with 2 strikeouts. Also, one of those guys hit by a pitch. He was hit by Owen Basso, as we mentioned, in the 4th inning. Shows bunt. Stays fair down the third base side. Boma makes the throw across on time for out number 1, but it puts 2 in scoring position on the sacrifice bunt. Takes a double play off the table and brings up the big bat of Parker Nihus, who gave the Grays their first lead with a double his last at-bat.
It's a tough play for Boma coming off the bench, making the on-the-run throw. And this Grays team, could place them right in the 1990s, they do just fine, bunting all over the place.
Well, we're done with the 90s. It's 2024, and Parker Dean throws his first strike. Low heat on the outside corner. Nihis just caught looking at it. He's 1 for 3 on the day with 2 strikeouts. Down early to the Purdue righty. The 0-1 is popped up and fouled for strike 2. So Dean, after hitting a batter, walking a batter, and giving up the sac bunt, finally finds himself ahead with 2 strikes to no balls, 1 out and 2 on. The 0-2 misses high, out of the hand of Hawk. Runner thought about coming home from third. It would make it 5-1, but he stays put. And Nihus gains some ground in the count. It's 1 ball to 2 strikes.
This would be a big strikeout, taking the sacrifice fly out of the equation.
1-2, he's 1 strike away from it. And misses low there on the fastball. Ball 2.
Not a bad spot by Dean.
Nihus has only swung the bat once. Fouled off. 2-2, 1 out. Here's the offering. Inside, ball 3. A full count with 1 out and 2 runners in scoring position. Dean working everywhere, except for the strike zone, it seems. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 2 on in scoring position. Grays lead 4-1 with a chance to extend it here. Popped skyward. Boma gives chase. Hawk also chasing down the left field foul side. And Boma makes the grab for out number 2. Ran all the way to the fence by the Grays dugout. But Boma, who came on to pinch hit and now is a defensive substitution, isn't distracted, makes the grab, and it makes this inning a little bit easier for Parker Dean to get it out of. Takes that sac fly off the table like you said, Jack.
Dean 1 out away of giving this Cropdusters an offensive chance.
4-1 the score. The Grays lead with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Ellis Owens up to bat. Takes one low and inside, ball 1. Isn't fooled by the fastball. Reed 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout. Reached on a fielder's choice his last time. Had a sac bunt as well. Fouls went off right. Sauer, no, he keeps it fair on the right side. The right fielder makes the play on the run to his left. For out number 3, Corey Swanson puts him away. So now the Cropdusters have one more chance with the top of the order up. Josh Reinhold, Ahia Koje, and of course the big bat of Jimmy Kirk have a lot of work to do to bring the Cropdusters out of a 3-run hole. It's 4-1 Grays as we head to the top of the 9th. Do or die time for the Crops when we return.
Let's do it.
Do or die time for the Cropdusters. Top of the 9th. They're down 4-1 to the DC Grays. Jish, Sokolsky, and Jack Feldman ready to bring you this thrilling conclusion. And it's the top of the order. Due up for the Cropdusters. Josh Reinhold steps into the righty's batter's box with the weight of the world on his shoulders. He's 1 for 3 on the day with a walk as well and a run.
If you're going to put up a spot here to tie the game, we would like Reinhold to be able to find his way on.
For the Grays, it's the righty Ty Moore, still out there. He's been wheeling, he's been dealing and throwing strikes. Throws a foul ball his first time with his first pitch. Reinhold pops it backwards.
Morris has done a really nice job in relief, just shutting down this Cropdusters offense, Jish.
No runs have scored under his watch through 2 innings pitched. The 0-1. Reinhold takes it low and away. Good eye for ball 1.
Morris did walk Parker Fry last inning, so the last thing you want to do here is give up 3 passes with a 3-run lead.
1-1. Reinhold swings and misses for strike 2, and you got to imagine that they need to see more of that from Ty Morris. If he starts getting any base runners on, they'll have to bring in a closer to put this game to bed. It's 4-1 Grays in the top of the 9th. Reinhold with a ball and 2 strikes. No outs and none on. Cracks one deep into the gap in right center. That one falls for a base hit, and then some. Reinhold doesn't stop his run and stands up at second base. A huge hit to start this 9th inning. That's exactly what the Cropdusters needed.
An ideal start to this 9th inning. Josh Reinhold doing Josh Reinhold things. Gets that ball in the gap, takes the aggressive turn, and cruises into second base when Lavenga falls down in right field.
He thought about holding at first, but saw the defender fall down, and Reinhold kept the run going to second base. Now it's Ahia Koje up to bat, already with 2 hits today. First pitch misses low and away for ball 1. Now let's see how Morris responds with his bat kind of against the ropes.
And Jish, if Okoje can get on, that'll bring up Jimmy Kirk as the tying run.
Kirk 0 for 2 on the day, the sac bunt. But Okoje is 2 for 3. Second pitch sinks too low, ball 2.
He's had really nice at-bats all day long.
Reinhold, a huge hit, brought him to 2 hits on the day. Okoje already with a multi-hit day. Can add on to the total, that would help the Cropdusters out tenfold. The 2-0. Finds the top of the strike zone, strike 1.
Gonna pull the trigger on that one.
A little bit of movement on the outside top corner. Okoje just watched it fall in there harmlessly. Strike one. No outs with a runner at second. Cropdusters trail by 3 with 1 on. Here's the pitch. That's in the lower right corner for strike one, but it was cool. It was a close call, Jack.
Okoje's got to dig in now. He has to have an at-bat. Just find a way on base. It's what the best players always do.
2-2. Okoje trying to prove he is one of those best players. The only JUCO prospect for the Cropdusters. 2-2. Morris takes a look back and delivers. And he swings on one to left field, lined out to the left fielder. Good reaction time from Marno in the left field to put Okoje away for out number 1.
Well, Okoje's had a phenomenal game. Hits that ball just as hard as you can hit a baseball, just right at the left fielder, Marmo.
If it hooked a little more, that could have landed for a base hit. That would have brought in Reinhold. Instead, Jimmy Kirk has a little bit more work to do. He's still hitless today, but Morris knows better than to put one in his wheelhouse. Runner at second. Here's the pitch. Off speed, misses high, ball 1.
Jimmy Kirk getting ahead in the count early, looking to do some damage.
Hit 2 home runs yesterday, including a grand slam. Another one here would bring the Cropdusters within 1. It's 4-1 Grays at the top of the 9th. 1 out and a runner at second. Good block from the catcher, Likas, to keep that at just a ball.
Reinhold took an aggressive secondary, but makes a smart baseball play. Knows he needs to stay on the bases.
2 balls, no strikes. 1 out and a runner at second. Cropdusters trail 4-1 at the top of the 9th. Kirk lays off, but it's in there. Strike 1. East-west movement buried into the top right corner. Great slider from Morris. So Morris finds his way back in this count. Keeps the bat frozen on Jimmy Kirk's shoulders. It won't stay there for long at 2-1. 1 out and a runner at second. And there he goes on the swing, but misses all of it. Strike 2.
Jimmy Kirk likes the ball up. Saw that one, just couldn't get contact.
Way too far ahead of it. Could have pulled one for definitely extra bases if he gets bat on ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out with the runner at second. Morris will look back. 2 outs away from securing the Grays' victory. Here comes. Kirk sends one to opposite field, and it falls for a base hit single. Reinhold stops his run at third with runners in the corners, and a tying run, Coy Swanson. Up to bat, Jimmy Kirk with a clutch piece of hitting.
That's just a beautiful swing, Jish, punching that through the right side. And that brings up Coy Swanson, the power threat. Has a homer this season.
Another one would tie this game up. Cropdusters fans waiting with bated breaths on the first base line.
Parker Fry on deck, who had 5 homers this season at East Stroudsburg.
Swanson takes the first one in the zone, strike 1. Great location on the slider from Morris. Working the inside part of the zone, one that Swanson would never swing at. Swanson's 2 for 4 in the day with a strikeout. Here's the pitch. He turns on one and sends it to the right field, where it falls into the right fielder's glove for out 2, and a quick throw back into the play keeps Reinhold at third with just 1 out remaining in the top of the 9th. Grays lead 4-1 in the tying run. Parker Fry steps into the lefty batter's box with the game on the line.
Some bad luck for the Cropdusters this inning. Okoje and Swanson both absolutely hammered 2 pitches that were right at the left and right fielder.
Kirk at first. Reinhold at third. Fry at the plate. Swings through a low ball for strike 1. 2 outs.
Fry sent a couple of balls to deep right field this season. Still looking for that signature moment.
0-1. 2 outs, 2 on the corners. Here's the pitch. Fry keeps it on the ground. This could be the game. Second baseman fields it and makes the throw to first on time. And that is your ball game. After the Cropdusters scored 12 last night, they come up with just 1. Came at the top of the first inning, and the bats went cold. 4-1, the Grays beat the Cropdusters in Game 6 of the season. Still a long ways to go, but a night and day shift between the offensive outputs from yesterday to today, Jack.
Jish, the offense was getting on base. They were getting it to runners they were getting runners in scoring position, just were not able to get the big hit. That was kind of the story of this one. So, still some positive signs from the offense. This is a game that I'm sure they would have liked to have back, but now they go back home soon and start a home stretch that they're going to like to stack up some W's on.
That's the silver lining, Jack. The 4-game road stand comes to an end. Cropdusters went 1-3 on the road. Their only win coming yesterday down at Metro South County. Cropdusters lose it today in D.C. 4-1 to the D.C. Grays. For Jack Feldman, I'm Jish Sokolsky. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow for a home game against the Aces. We'll see you then.